are live. Okay, open topic, guys.
Okay, no more talk about vibrators.
Have any of you been watching the Olympics, this Winter Olympics?
I don't follow it.
Maybe some curling now and then. That's about it.
Yeah, I've been watching the speed skating. I'm hooked on speed skating.
Oh, speed skating's fun.
Oh, those
I want
Korean.
to try curling. I think that would be fun.
I'm hooked.
Be better than bowling, I think.
Who came up with curling? I'm curious to how this idea came up. You know, like, oh, okay, throw the stone, run up in front of it, and use a broom to really smooth out the ice to guide the direction. Who came out? Like, they had to be bored to come up with this.
Where did it come from? It's some other country.
I think it came from Canada.
Yeah, where it's cold. And I mean, I think I would try and do that.
I'll look it up. I think it came from Banff.
The ice hockey's on tonight.
And I love hockey.
The gold medal between USA and Germany.
Came from
Scotland. Russia.
Uh-oh. If it's a Russian invention,
Russian bots.
Sport, yeah.
No, Scotland. It comes from Scotland.
What?
Yeah. Scotland, yeah.
Oh, curling comes from Scotland?
But a lot of Scottish had a lot of people move to Canada.
Mm-hmm.
So I suppose that's how it got to Canada.
Hey, Stevie again.
I love rugby. I love anything that's all the sports that from other countries. Oh, polo. I love polo.
No, I never thought that would be a Scottish thing. Totally did not think that.
Yeah, I was thinking Canadian too.
Oh yeah, so yeah, me and Amanda were talking about it. We'll dedicate one crazy night to dodos. I mean,
to what?
To dildos.
I asked him, I said, well, I asked him, does that mean I get to show and tell? And he said, sure.
No. This channel would be knocked off so fast it wouldn't be funny.
No, it won't.
No.
You could show that.
Yeah.
Just demonetized.
Yes.
Is this monetized?
Not on the Tequila channel. I kind of want to do a test to see if there's a difference between monetized and non-monetized. So we'll see. Because I upload everything to my other one while the live stream is down, so I can see if there's a difference between.
Don't you need 4,000 hours of airtime before it can happen?
Oh yeah, they did stop it. Yeah, I don't have it on.
I thought it was 1,000 hours.
Yeah.
I think it's 4 now.
But there's like 3 mitigating factors. You need hours. You need subscribers, and
comment interaction. I think.
Yeah. So
yeah.
There's a lot.
And you can't talk about dildos.
Not yet.
Oh, I'm sure there's plenty of YouTubes that are giving sex advice, how to be naughty, and they're just like, they got thousands of followers. And
well, yeah, sex advice, not a porno. You said show and tell. What do you think that's?
Well, no, I wouldn't do it.
Okay,
Jesus Christ.
I was about to say show and tell.
I want to show Ebon the page that I'm looking at, but I don't know if Ebon will kick me or not.
We'll see.
All right, you said it.
Hey, a heads up would be nice. Like,
Yeah, heads up. It's the same topic.
oh, okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
And you could talk about all the different ones that there are, and
Oh, there was one that I mentioned to Amanda about, because she's a big Prince fan, and Snork was in on it. I think that's gold. If you made that, I think you would.
If you made me a dildo in the shape of the Prince symbol, I would just,
And it's purple.
I would use it.
I'm pretty sure you can get custom made ones too. I mean, you can get custom made everything else. I wouldn't see why you couldn't get those custom made.
It'd probably be.
So I remember, like, I used to work at the hospital, and like the second night I was there, this woman comes up to me and gives me this brochure on all these different, like, sex objects, and I'm like, oh my god. Like, and this was a thing, like, you can't pass around union pamphlets around there. You'll get fired ASAP. But if you want to buy a dildo, that's totally fine. Totally fine.
That's funny.
It just blew my mind how open people are about talking about this stuff. Like, this is the thing. Like, people are like, oh yeah, this is the one I got. Which one do you have? I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I don't even have one. Like, what are y'all talking about? Like, I live in the Bible Belt, y'all. Like, I'm like, this is like just, it's like so much for me.
Yeah. Normally, the more religious, the more sexually deviant.
Mm-hmm.
Very true.
That's
true.
where I
There's
learned all my
freaky people
sexual
around here.
deviancy. Was
there's a thing in Australia where they have fuckaware parties instead of fuckaware parties.
Okay, that's what I thought you said. I was about to say Tupperware.
No, fuckaware, where you go to parties and it's all about sex toys and games, and you don't actually have sex there, but you go. Mostly women have them for toys and stuff.
Well, that's just like the Tupperware thing. It's basically a Tupperware thing is a scam. It's literally a Ponzi scam. I've seen people do it before. You get you pay a certain amount, you get certain products. You have to try to sell them to other people or trick other people into selling them for you for commission. Basically, once you start it, the more people you get, the more money you suck off of them all.
It was like Avon for sex toys. That's exactly what that woman was doing. It was Avon for sex toys. It was like, I've got a pamphlet. I'm going to sell this shit. And, it's like a pyramid type thing.
It literally is. It's not even literally a Ponzi scheme.
I would be
when these
losing
people
out
are getting
on.
sucked, they're getting sucked, right?
I would lose out on money because I would keep my kids.
You got to coin that term, Stevie. Go ahead.
Kevin. Yeah. I guess as Ponzi schemes go, Stevie is right. When it's a dildo Ponzi scheme, when you're getting fucked, you're really getting fucked. So at least you're getting your money's worth.
Mm-hmm. Damn straight.
M99 said, I loved going to Tupperware parties with my grandma. They had the best snacks.
That's normally how they lure people in.
I can have snacks at home.
The snickerdoodles and all that type of stuff.
Oh, I gotta admit, I'm weak for a snickerdoodle.
Hey.
Things are good.
Wait a second. We have to leave the snicker out. We promised independent outsider.
Oh, sorry. I don't know what's going on there. So,
no, snicker.
It has to do with Snicker Penis 2020. That's what Snort's joke was referring to there.
I'm still waiting for somebody to corner the market on food and sex toys. Just stay at home. I mean, it's like all in one. You can have your snickerdoodles or what have you.
Have you not seen edible panties and flavored condoms?
Okay, there you go. Okay, somebody's already doing it.
In Boston, they have sex themed cakes, so they'll have
But aren't cucumbers an edible sex toy?
Oh Lord!
Yeah, they work great.
Is it a cucumber? Would they want it to be a cucumber or a pickle?
Hey, Snort, could you please explain? detail.
Teeth, crunch, crunch, crunch. Multiple ways, I guess.
All right.
Someone's already cornered the market.
On cucumbers?
No, on what I've linked, what I'm showing now.
Oh my
Pussy's
goodness.
got teeth.
Can you see that, Stevie?
I'm a little late. Oh, why?
No,
Oh, God, why?
I'm showing photos of vagina cupcakes.
Just why?
You
know, what party are you having to where you're like, I just have to have vagina cupcakes for this?
What about booty ones?
Hey, if you're asking what kind of party are you having when you have to have pussy-shaped cupcakes, then you should look at what kind of party are you having when you have to have pussy-shaped hats.
Am I throwing the wrong kind of parties? I've never had a need for pussy cupcakes.
So
look at this, guys.
Are they flavored?
I don't know. I don't know.
That's
what would be the flavor? Because girls don't all taste the same.
Hey, come on, guys.
Did I see this?
Yes, let's save this to the dedicated dodo on topic discussion.
Can you imagine?
What the fuck is that? Some crazy fucking chastity thing?
Yeah, the balls go right and back, and then it locks. And the
why?
And the wife cuts to keep the key.
Wait, can we read the review because it's got a one?
Wait,
put it back up. I want to read. The review's
Oh
gonna
God, that just looks painful.
God, y'all are killing me.
The review's got to be the best.
See all of them?
Yeah, I just want to read the reviews.
God, they'll sell anything these days.
One. That metal one looks a bit rough.
Okay, what is
got one
no,
star.
Go back.
Things. What am I looking at?
It got one star. There.
Does not include instructions. It did not fit. It was too small.
Damn, the guy's got a big penis. What a bummer.
You're not supposed to get an erection, dude. What do you think?
That was Amazon.
I got this ready. This guy knows how to eat a cupcake.
This is gonna be bad. Not as bad as I thought.
Yeah, he knows how to eat a cupcake.
All right. Let's save it for the dedicated one.
Okay. I'll have it all lined up, ready to. I love that the X-rated part of Amazon. It is just funny. They have what's called sissy pants, and they're like female lingerie, but there's like a pouch for the dick to go in.
Ugh.
And you should read the comments from guys. You know how you get to ask questions about, and then this guy goes, "Is this for guys too?" And another dude underneath said, "Well, what do you think? LOL."
I started down one of these rabbit holes one time. It started with I was looking for a red corset for a Wonder Woman costume, and of course that's not the things that you want to search online because one thing led to another, and then I ended up looking at like full body latex suits, and I'm like, how the fuck did I even get here? I don't know what's going on. Like, there's some weird.
Kind of like how did you get to the dragon fucking cars thing?
Yeah, exactly. I took a wrong turn on the internet somewhere.
What rule is it of the internet that if you can think of it, it exists?
34.
Okay.
What was that? Oh God, what was that black woman's name that was on Touched by an Angel?
Right.
I think her name on there was Tess. Anyway, there's porn of her. There's porn of her. Della Reese. There's Della Reese Photoshop porn out there, guys. Like, if you don't think Rule 34 is real, that should exist. Why? What is the market for that? Who are the people looking for that? I don't know, but it's out there. It's out there.
Religious people that like Touched by the Angel and want to be touched by it.
They want to be touched by that angel.
But you got to go for the Irish one. She's the good-looking one.
Irish one.
Mm-hmm.
I
Well,
kind I know what Touched by an Angel is, but I'm like I've seen it like one time only.
Touched by an Angel Tibbs?
Touched by an angel.
Okay, can we segue into something less
So there's pornography of this one. This is the one that you want to see the pornography of.
That's what I thought. Yeah. That's what I would be thinking. If they're going to make photoshopped porn.
Yeah, you think it'd be like the Irish chick, but no. I mean, I'm sure that's out there too. Rule 34, right? But the one I happened to stumble across was Della Reese, and I'm just like, why? Why, God, why?
What's so irritating now is that I've been in the X-rated part of Amazon so much that I can't get it to quit showing.
It just keeps showing you fucked up shit.
It does. I'll show you what I'm talking about.
Come on, we're not even in the age restrictions.
We're not in the dildo episode.
This is my home page. This is because of all the X-rated areas I've been at.
Powerful finger vibrator.
Oh, Jesus.
And I am banned from live streaming.
I can't have a mature conversation about this, guys. I'm sorry. Like I said, I grew up in the Bible Belt. Like, people are like, okay, well, here's the pros and cons of this dildo. And I'm like, dildo. I just can't.
So there's this really cool new product that's come out where the woman can have a concealed toy, and her boyfriend have control of it via the phone, via his
Those
phone.
have been out for 5 years.
Your phone gets hacked or stolen.
NSA would have
just
fun with that
like
one.
An RF remote?
They've had those for 5 years.
This is like if your girlfriend's across the country and you just want to screw with her.
Pretty much.
Literally.
Yeah. I've heard the remote control ones, but I guess that was like way back in the day. I guess now they're all sophisticated with cell phones and
Bluetooth.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you really want the toy that's going to be pleasuring you to have a Wi-Fi connection?
I don't want the NSA in charge of that shit.
They know when you're whacking it. They know when you're like, talk about fucking, like, it's like the Santa Claus thing. He knows when you're naughty. He knows when you're nice. Santa's a fucking pervert.
My ex-boyfriend and I had one we broke up 4 years ago. It was about 5 years ago, and he'd be at work. It'd be like, this is the most high-tech. It was kind of freaky.
Yeah, another Internet of Things that shouldn't
Huh?
Go ahead.
exist.
You muted.
I said yet another Internet of Things that shouldn't exist.
Oh, yeah.
I thought I would test the limits of Rule 34.
Oh, God.
I Googled calculator porn. Yep, it's in there.
You Googled what?
Pocket calculator porn.
Calculator porn.
Oh, God.
Yep, it's in there.
I can only imagine what that would look like.
I can't think of any other boundary to type and find out.
1313 and then put the calculator upside down.
No, they type 8008 and then
there you go, that's right. Hold on, let me get my phone.
Snort. I need a toy.
Okay.
That wasn't.
I'm a safe one. Oh, yeah.
I have never had one from a 3D printer, so I think that would be
Oh, God, why?
Yeah, I need a human tissue compatible plastic. I don't currently have one.
Okay, I'll get it.
That's the only holdback is I wouldn't want to give you anything that has potential
Well, you tell me where to get it.
toxicological issues.
You tell me where to get it.
You need PETG. And
Can I have it purple?
oh, that comes in purple.
Oh, nice.
And they won't let me do it with these calculators, the phone apps.
What calculator?
Oh,
You know, you would just make it like parentheses, dot parentheses, but the phone app ones.
Boy, that was the day.
Calculator porn. God. World's going to shit.
okay. This is a computer simulation of my old calculator. Let's see. How do I share screen?
Is it going to blow up the internet?
Yeah, it's going to blow up the internet.
Bruin says, "Do androids dream of electric naked sheep?"
Does that help, Ebon?
There you go. Yeah, that's why I probably didn't do so well in calculus.
The HP41C actually was more like a computer that looked like a calculator, and it did alpha and. It also, if you hacked it right, it had a little picture of a alien waving at you.
Let me see.
Okay, for a disclaimer here for everybody that's watching this that is not in chat, you're just lurking. I'm drunk, okay?
What you drinking?
Wine. Merlot.
All right.
What is that called? Inhibitions? Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, you got that right. Inhibitions.
Yeah, they don't work right now.
We need someone who blushes. We need to get Eric or
Blushes? Oh shit, I don't know when I did that the last time.
We need somebody that's face will turn beet red when we're talking about this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, see, that's the good thing that I'm not on camera, because I would be so red. I laugh like a little kid about this stuff, but seriously, it's like, yeah. I mean, come on.
It is pretty comical.
I can't laugh. I can't help but to laugh. I mean, come on. I'm not experiencing this. This is not normal. Okay, I've only been
It is too normal.
I'm not. No. The first time anybody gave this to me, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I got to put it in my purse and just hide it away until I could throw it away where nobody's going to see me this away."
Somebody's going to catch you with the dildo catalog.
Yeah. Oh my god, that would be me. Like on my way home from work, getting in a horrible car accident, and then I got a dildo pamphlet on me. Like, what the hell?
So here we go. I'm going to share you. You can only see it on your YouTube. Fruit that look like porn. Have you seen that before?
What?
Fruit that look like porn, which I posted. So that right there is a chili.
Alright, I'm able to stream because I'm in Omaha.
Oh, there you go. So these are chili peppers. Right there.
Stream because I'm in Omaha.
Oh, just mute it.
I did. Sorry.
And there you go. I don't know if YouTube would censor these. Let's see.
No.
They're just awkwardly shaped, plants and vegetables and fruits, right?
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Anyways, that is.
I'm not sure that meat looks good to me.
Well, you just gotta beat it.
I just saw one on Reddit not too long ago where it was a tree that was built exactly like that Kim Kardashian. I think it was a magazine cover shoot where she had like she had some kind of fabric that was wrapped around her ass, and she had a glass of champagne or something. Yeah, it was supposed to break the internet or whatever. But yeah, I saw a tree built exactly like Kim Kardashian. So Kim needs to step up her game. I'm just saying.
I'm trying to find it. They won't show it. Yeah, I mean, I don't even want to go there.
We're supposed to be saving this for the night, and then we keep going.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, I know, Ebon. You're like, oh, let's do it for the dildo only topic, and the next thing you know, here's fruits and vegetables shaped like odd dildos and shit. And
No, it's just body parts. It's not dildos.
You hypocrite, you.
No, I was not doing dildos.
That one piece of meat could have been, but.
All right. What do we go?
It looked too limpy for me.
I'm almost wanting to start talking about.
Amanda.
Let's go back to the Parkland mass shooting.
anything to get off this topic.
Yeah, I know. I'm just kidding. What's been the news this week?
Angel, she goes, but don't put that banana in my tailpipe. Sorry.
Oh, like literal food porn. Yep. I love my food porn, but this is some food porn.
I'm sorry, but I just. Okay, guys out in chat, shut up. I'm supposed to be. Wait, is there supposed to be?
Don't let nobody take your porn bread.
Snork, what is the hell problem with you? You're not even laughing. You're just so serious.
I see everybody frozen.
Oh.
Can you
Don't you hear us?
Yeah, we see you and hear
you.
I've got some type of major failure. I don't see you guys moving at all.
You might have to exit and come back in or stop your.
And then will you be happier and laugh at our porn shit?
It's either Zoom or your internet.
I have internet because I'm talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's your upload internet connection, not download. You got to take it in. You might be able to, or what? We might be able to see you, so it's uploading, but you can't see us. So it's either not downloading or the Zoom thing's malfunctioning.
There we go. There we go. Thank you.
Yep.
You're muted. You gotta unmute. There you go. Is that better?
That's better. Don't know what happened there. Just a partial freeze.
Yeah.
One thing in the news actually came across Twitter today. Really surprised me was a national database of radioactivity of the water in each town. And I was taught that at 0.1 picocuries that you needed to have your eyes covered around an alpha emitter. And 0.1 is a lot different than 10.683. And that's just west of Milwaukee. That's their tap water. So it's
So really high alpha emitter, or relatively high.
well, compared to what we're supposed to wear safety gear for, that's what their tap water is, the Waukesha water utility tap water.
Is that naturally
I
occurring?
bet it's radium, and let's see what it says. Oh. Radium, uranium, and strontium.
Oh yeah, that's not good at all. Strontium, it acts like calcium, doesn't it? If I remember
Yeah.
correctly, it can literally bond to your bones.
Don't know how they got strontium 90 in their water supply.
Wouldn't that have to be something from a reactor
Or nuclear.
or something from a refining process to
Strontium
get
90
strontium
nuclear
90?
fallout.
So how in the hell did it get there?
Probably a concentration eddy. I don't know. Be interesting to find out. But Waukesha, Wisconsin, 10.6. That's just outrageous.
Is there? Why is it high there?
Don't know. When I popped up a map of the United States, there was only a few red dots. There are 4 near Milwaukee, 1 near Dubuque, Iowa, actually not too far from here, and 1 in.
Could you screen share that map?
Yeah, sure. Hang on, it's coming up. Is it visible?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, so when I zoomed in on Waukesha, I popped over and I hit, what was the numbers.
Oh, Waukesha Bay.
And I mean, really high numbers around that area of Milwaukee.
There's an old country song about that, Tim.
About Waukesha?
Waukesha Bay, yeah.
Oh man, that bottom of that lake has some nice curves.
Oh shit, I'm stuck.
Nebraska. There's Columbus.
Yeah.
2.8.
Hey, that's not bad.
That's bad. You're going to be installing a water filter, right?
Yeah.
No problem.
That's good.
As long as it's RO.
Can you do Somerville, Massachusetts?
Sure.
I mean, I don't drink the water there either, but I mean, even if you don't drink it, if it gets on your body, isn't that still a bad thing?
Yeah, but
Alpha emitters aren't nearly as bad as the other ones. Alpha emitters normally they don't even penetrate the skin. It's when they go into like soft tissue or inside you that they cause major problems.
or your eyes.
Or soft tissue, yeah.
Yeah.
So Somerville
Okay.
is north of Boston. If you go in,
That's as close as I can zoom in.
can you type, like, do a
There's
search?
Salem.
Yeah, do a search. Somerville, Somerville. There you go.
I still don't see it.
Alpha's not as dangerous, but the amount of it means the possibility of you being exposed to it is pretty high.
No, that's Waukesha's I'm pulling up.
Oh, okay. I was like,
whoa. You have to point out where it is because I can't zoom in any further.
If you you have it searched. The search actually has it.
I searched for it.
Yeah.
And it zoomed me into here. Is Woburn close?
Yeah, Woburn's close.
I'll just hit that.
Okay.
1.3, and that's high.
Well, we are. Oh,
these are all the towns that are above the safe limits.
Well, that's depressing.
One reason I like to live in the middle of BFE.
Well,
because a lot of that region that's mainly dotted is the high population zone.
Yeah, a lot of wells, a lot of mining. So I take it this area of South Dakota probably doesn't have a lot of oil wells. Nothing to break your water table.
You know what I found out? That they are building a fracking well right across the street from the hospital here. And they've already had to shut down
Are they insane?
Of course.
I know. They had to build this whole petition to cut down the sound and everything. The chemicals that were being released or whatever they were using was creating such a stench that they had to shut down the operations because it was making the hospital unbearable. Like all the patients, everybody could smell everything that they were doing, so they had to shut it down for a while until they could figure out a way they can do it in a way they can poison people in a way that was a little less smelly. So,
Well, why not just tear down the hospital and put a morgue there while you're at it?
I mean, they might as fucking well, right? They might as fucking well. I mean, with this, with fracking wells and stuff like that, when you've got flooding and stuff, oh God, fracking.
They literally want to expose already fucking sick people to stuff that's been absolutely proven without a doubt to cause horrible shit.
But it feeds their bottom line. That's the whole thing. It feeds their bottom line. They want sick people in those beds. They need sick people. Well, what's the best way to do that? Fracking, coal, you know? I mean, it perpetuates the whole system. If you want to look at the people that were sponsoring poisoning our water, our streams and stuff, you got to look at Milan. Milan was one of the big ones because they wanted sick people. It's not that they needed somewhere to dump all their toxins. They wanted sick people. They wanted these other businesses to put their toxins in our water so that way they could perpetuate their profits. You know?
And that is a terrific argument for why for-profit healthcare should be a crime, like it used to be in Michigan before they lost their goddamn mind.
We used to pay $5,000 to have a 3,000-gallon tank pull up to one of the companies I work for. And they said the preferred method to get rid of the safety is to deep well it. Well, deep welling is the industrial term for fracking. So they charged us, $5,000 to haul it away. And who knows what they charged the people at the deep well for the fracking materials. All kinds of people just pumped all kinds of stuff down there.
All right, I'll be back. I just need some food and drink. Okay. I'll be back. Don't move it back into Godos.
Oh man.
I've got some good news on the Australian front. You know how I told you about the Deputy Prime Minister and his fling with his staffer? He finally stepped down after 2 weeks. So he's no longer deputy, which is a really good thing. He was a conservative fruitcake who basically said there shouldn't be gay marriage because of the sanctity of marriage, yet he cheated on his wife. That's my news for the week.
Well, he said there shouldn't be gay marriage because sanctity of marriage, and then he cheated on his. It would be substantially, like it would be more hypocritical if it was he cheated on his wife with a gay man. That would really hit it home.
That really would.
I don't think he'd be doing that.
I mean, how long did Hillary Clinton campaign on the sanctity of marriage after all that shit with Bill and Monica went down? And what was it, like 12, 20 years after the fact? She was still campaigning on, I believe in the sanctity of marriage. Okay, I believe in the fact that I can have a shitty marriage, but two gay people that love each other can't have that. Sorry, y'all. sanctity of marriage. Only we can be miserable, not you.
And she was in the shittiest marriage of all.
Mm-hmm.
Which is just mind blowing. I was supposed to watch the for Kathy B last night. I was supposed to watch the press conference between the Australian Prime Minister and President Trump, but I forgot. I fell asleep. But I plan to watch it. And I start studying next week, so my appearances are going to be fewer and far between.
Did anyone see that CPAC thing? Oh my God, that was just a.
Not yet.
That was. I watched it on the Hard Bastard thing earlier, and it was just twisted, measly words, and then it was awful. Like it was to the like I just commented. You'd have to see it. You'd have to see it to understand just the. If you know the background with just one example, they had the Pawn Star guy complaining about education. I heard about they just pass them forward even if they fail and all this testing stuff. It's awful, and we need to charter schools and private education and all that. And what he doesn't know, or what he's not telling everybody, is that Common Core at No Child Left Behind. The Republicans and Democrats are both the ones, well, primarily Republicans at that point, but Democrats too, are the ones that fucking passed this. They created the problem.
Don't talk about that, Kevin. Come on, there's only so much you can handle at one time, and you can't digest the fact that they're the reason for causing a problem and fix the problem at the same time. Like you can't deal with that shit at the same time. Come on, there's too much information.
I mean, it's problem, reaction, solution. It's literally, it's what's been happening. I mean, how do you think the welfare reform happened? How do you think the right to work things happened? What do you think? I mean, this is all, same thing with the gun laws, and the gun crap they're pushing out. It's the same thing over and over and over. And,
yeah, I mean, even with the Russiagate.
Does anything ever get better for the citizenry? No, it just keeps going downhill.
No, I mean that's the point. What is it that they've ever done that's worked out for our benefit? Can you please tell me the last thing that they ever did that we're like, yep, that's a good thing, that helps us out? I can't remember anything that they've done that's ever been that way. And even if it was a short-term gain for a long-term con. That's usually how it works out. You'll get a short-term gain where you're like, okay, I might have a couple extra $100 in the bank account, or I might have this law in place, but it's at the detriment of a long-term. You're giving up long-term solutions for that shit. Usually.
And normally those short-term small gains you get are pennies compared to the actual funding and programs that were established before.
Yeah,
and they always have a price for us to pay to get it too.
Yeah, they want to make it a market. And basically, you're already getting your shit reduced. They cut the program and then make you pay for it more. So they want to make you poorer. They want to suck more money out of you.
See, this is why we need to have Steve Grumbine on. I love him. I mean, there's a lot of people that come on the real progressives that talk about this stuff, that talk about the money and different aspects. But that's what it really boils down to, isn't it? It always boils down to the money. It always boils down to what we can afford and what we can't. What we can fund and what we can't. And like, really they blow a hole in all that talk. When it comes to universal health care or free college tuition, they blow a hole in all that because they say, look, we can totally fund that. There's no reason why we can't fund that,
Oh, it's just
God, I mean, we can afford it. That's the thing. We can afford all this stuff. We can afford free education. We can afford healthcare. We can afford all these things, but we don't because we want to keep rich people as rich as possible. That's what it boils
Yeah.
down to.
But the only way the United States could literally not afford any of that at all is if everybody was complete idiots, like completely, like no skilled trade, no nothing. We had no manufacturing base, and we had no resources at all at our disposal. That's the only way we would not be able to fund these sort of things. The money is just it's the network. It's just how to hook all this shit together to get the wheels rolling. So you're right, Stevie. I was just saying, in the only context in which that the country couldn't afford to do something like that.
Mm.
That's the situation they're saying whenever the government's broke. They're saying the country has no resources at all, which is a bold-faced lie. It says it has no manufacturing capability at all, which is a bold-faced lie. It's saying it has no technical ability or skilled trade or knowledge base at all, which is a complete bold-faced lie. I mean, that's what that translates into. You say the government's broke, you want to think it's broke? That's what it means.
Yeah, I mean, it's not so much that we're broke; it's just that we don't want to spend money on this stuff. I mean, that's really what I'm getting. What I'm seeing is, it's not that we're broke; it's that we don't want to fund certain things. I mean, it's okay to fund the military, but it's not okay to fund education. It's not okay to fund, our healthcare system. It's not okay to fund a decent, living for people. That's the shit we don't want to fund. What we want to fund are things that keep people miserable and complacent in their role in a capitalistic society. That's what I see.
And when you really think about it, in the whole funding aspect, people think, oh, well, if you fund it, you're going to have to pay that back. And it's like, it's just like the government debt. Okay, look at it. Half of it is specifically owed to ourselves. Like literally, a little more than half of it, all owned to ourselves. So not a debt. It's like saying I borrowed $10 from myself and I've got to pay myself back $10. What?
And I know, like, MMT gets on people's nerves because, especially, like, when you're trying to watch something like from Debbie the Same Progressive and stuff like that, it's like, oh, okay, well, just, oh my God, would you just shut up about the MMT? But like the things like what Debbie has to say combined with MMT, it's like, Jesus. I mean, like, she explains the why these people exploit our economic system. And MMT gives you a way to get out of that system. So it's like those two things. I don't know why they butt heads so much, her and Steve Grumbine, but it's like, there are two people that are working to expose two of the biggest frauds in our system, which is the economics and why our economics are being exploited the way that they are. So I wish they'd figure out their shit, and I really wish they'd quit arguing because seriously, I mean, there are two sides of the same coin. I mean, they're really explaining two of the biggest problems in our society right now.
And I want to finish this before I catch shit from somebody. Half of it is owed to ourselves. The rest of the money, that debt, is, okay, China holds a bit, the UK holds some millions and all that. But what that specifically means is those countries have US dollars within our economic system. How did they get US dollars? Well, look at our trade. Look at all the stuff made in China. Look at all, I mean, that's how that happens. That's how the goods and services things work. Because if they have that money, they only got a couple options. They can buy a treasury bond, basically hold that money just in an account with an interest rate, which is basically just, hey, don't spend this now. And, I'll give you a little bit of interest over time until, you cash it out. Or they can spend it on, ultimately they have to spend it on goods and services. They have to spend it on labor. They got to spend it on resources. They got to spend it on, services to turn those resources. They got to spend, that's what they have to spend it on, but now, I mean, they're just, it's, our laws are such imposed to where, the key to the whole thing is, China can buy a bunch of shit. Yeah, but they're using our money in our country under our fucking laws. It's country to country trade agreement. You know, I don't say I agree with the trade agreement. I mean, outsourcing all your manufacturing is a pretty fucking stupid idea.
I mean,
Especially when you consider like our manufacturing capability and what we had compared to some of China's. Our coal plants substantially cleaner. Our refineries for steel substantially more efficient. You know, a lot of the stuff is just better quality here. Why the fuck? I mean, it just doesn't make sense. Not from like kind of, this is our country, this is our house. What do you do with your own house? You know, you do your own laundry. Even the Chinese fucking know that.
I mean, even like Australia has the same problem. I mean, it's not just an American problem. I mean, we've shipped a lot of our processors off overseas, and we were creating such superior quality stuff to China. But the problem is that Australia loves a good trade deal. A good trade deal to the point where they don't buy natural gas from the people who mine it for electricity and stuff. What happens is the people extract the gas out of the earth, they ship it off to somewhere like Japan or China for refining, and it gets shipped back to Australia.
I'm pretty sure to ship the gas in the first place, they liquefy it. Because otherwise it's not feasible to even ship that quantity of gas.
But it needs refining as well, doesn't it, Snork, after it's been liquefied?
The liquefaction process basically is a refining process. That separates out all the dirty gases that come with it. To liquefy methane, it has to be pretty damn pure.
But I know it goes. I know I've seen the statistics that it goes from Australia to Asia for processing, and then it comes back to Australia at a very, very high rate. I saw it was America was quoted as paying 12 cents for the same amount that we pay 43 cents.
You sure that's not gas and maybe it's oil instead? Because
No,
the
it's
gas
gas.
really doesn't need refining.
It's gas. I'll look it up. It's video.
With that. That seems strange to me. It doesn't quite make sense.
It's a video. I'll look it up because we've had a power crisis here where power's gone through the roof.
You have a monumental desert, and you also in Australia, I know for a fact, you've made several solar power plants. You know, and they literally took old coal turbines and converted them over for the solar power plants. I mean, huge empty desert. Use it.
Okay, so here. There you go. So energy prices per kilowatt per hour. For Australia, it's 47.13 cents. For America, it's 12 cents. So, nearly 5 times the price. So imagine your electricity bill nearly being 5 times the price.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, you're an economy of scale. You're not giant, but 25 million people isn't nothing to shake a stick at. And there's political crap going on there, because that doesn't make sense.
I have no doubt.
Because that's just, energy. Literally, once the infrastructure is put into place, energy prices can drop to damn near nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Which would be substantially beneficial. Nothing, or literally nothing, that's beneficial. That's no overhead cost on people's houses, no overhead cost on machining, and then you can start worrying about some of your more environmental issues. And it's, I don't know, it puts you in a better position as a country.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the real thing that shits me the most is our Prime Minister, our Goldman Sachs Prime Minister. He feels that we need to open up coal-fired power plants to have a steady supply of power. And Elon Musk,
you literally in your own country have a solar power plant with storage that disproves you need coal plants for 24-hour production.
Mm-hmm.
In your own country. That's crazy.
And Elon Musk proved him wrong by installing a massive battery plant in South Australia, and it has fixed the South Australian energy problem.
Yeah, it helps level out peaks, and also it balances out low usage because those big generators got to keep running regardless.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All it does is level it out. It makes, it's when you got extra, tuck it away. When you don't have enough, spread it out. It's the same idea as the how to promote military industry, or how to, or Australia, specific example there, the sheep farmers for the wool. Same model.
Mm-hmm. So this is the South Australian power plant, I believe. So no. Port Augusta. Solar energy could ensure. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure that's it. But I know South Australia's got a power plant, a solar power plant. But
yeah, it's got molten salt storage for. I believe there's two of them actually, if I remember right. I know one's a specific kind of the big tower in the center, and then all the mirrors point to a central spot. I don't remember if that thing was a molten salt to boil water to turn it to steam to turn a turbine, or if it directly had the water inside where it was focusing the light in a boiler. I think it had storage capacity, so I think it was a salt one.
Yeah, just let me solar plant.
I think it's got a surplus of 10 hours worth of power production with no sun on, something like that.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
It's not a bad power plant, though. I mean, for what it is, it's a it converted old coal turbine and parts of the old coal system to generate power as is, and then it allowed for it's not a bad design. It works. It's functional. It's effective.
It's. I mean, there's a lot of those going up. A lot of these sort of.
Oh, those
sort of power plants are going up that still follow the sun. But this is like what I'm talking about.
Those are
solar thermal.
The fourth picture from the left.
That's in Spain.
That's in Spain?
Yeah. Solar thermal plant in Spain.
Yeah,
but I'm pretty sure this is the Australian one.
Yeah, the third picture is definitely molten salt. That picture is definitely molten salt.
This is in the USA.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say we don't have mountains like that especially the ice-capped ones in the background. We don't have them here. but yeah, no, this is the one in South Australia, I think.
I mean, I don't know. This might sound dumb, but do you have like mountain ranges in Australia, or is it just kind of flat?
I think there's a mountain range somewhere in there.
Yeah, we do. It's between my state and the state above, and it's called the Blue Mountains because it's made out of bluestone. Okay. And it's the only place in Australia where in the winter it gets like constant snow. That's it. Nowhere else in Australia gets constant snow where people can go, and it's not powdery. It's not powdery snow like you can get in Canada, I've been told by my GP. It's rock hard. It's like ice. You're skiing down ice.
Sorry for the people that live there.
Yeah, so we don't.
Hey,
I mean, I walk around in shorts in winter. I mean,
well, I'm from Michigan and I do that, so that doesn't really prove anything.
mm,
Yeah, it's been nice around here lately. Like past couple of days, it's actually been the 70s and 80s. It has been
80?
beautiful. It's been beautiful around here. I cannot even like. I've been going outside with my son. It's been fantastic. I mean, say what you want about global warming, but in February I can go out with my son and play outside. So it can't be all bad, right?
Right. I love the 80 right now.
No, I mean, like, that's the thing. Like, when I was growing up, we used to have snow that was like, I couldn't even go outside in it. It was so deep. It would be like, several feet deep of snow. And now it's like, we might get an ice storm every once in a while, but we don't get snow like that. I mean, it gets cold. It gets cold as shit up here, but, like, it does not snow like that. It's crazy.
Now, that Tesla plant, I mean, that's just feeding off the grid, right, for charging?
mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
So that can pretty much, it's plug and play. It takes any power source. I don't know. I think it, I don't know, the solar storage should be definitely expanded because, if it's big enough, you can get rid of the electrical batteries entirely,
The only thing that the only problem that they have is that usually peak is not during the sunny time at night.
Well, that's what the storage is for.
Yeah, I know, but that's what South Australia's problem was, is that they had the solar energy and all that type of stuff, but they had no way of storing it. And then Elon Musk comes along and says, "Well, in 100 days, I'm going to make sure that you have a battery plant, and if I don't bring it online within 100 days, you get it for free."
I got to admit, putting the batteries in place was a fast fix. I think a better fix would have been to just expand the mirrors and the storage capability.
But it came through on day 99, so, and it's eliminated South Australia's problem.
Yeah, but it's not going to live as long as an addition to a solar thermal plant's going to live. It's going to end up being more costly.
It's a quick fix. I think they got big.
It is a quick fix. Yes. I mean, it works. Don't get me wrong.
I would have to look into South Australia's energy policy to see what their plans are for the future. It's just that I find reading policy really, really mind-numbingly want to put a gun in my mouth.
They write that policy awfully. I mean, I'm thinking mine, but I guess we kind of got, as countries go, we basically got the same screwball problem when it comes to energy policy for the most part.
Mm-hmm. But the thing is, most of Australia is sunny most of the time. I think we've had maybe, I would dare say, less than 5% overcast days since probably September. It just never gets overcast. It never does. Not for a whole day. Not for a whole week. It won't. I just don't understand it. I mean, even to the point where they should be offering solar panels on housing at a cheaper rate, I think would be also beneficial.
I don't know about that. See, like, I'm for it and I'm against it, but I'm like, you're in a really, really sunny, kind of hot place most of the time, right?
Yep.
I mean, and that's sunny, great. Hot, not so great for solar panels. The hotter they get, the lower their efficiency. Yeah. So, I don't know. Like has been made smaller thermal or solar thermals. I mean, just resource wise, you got sun, check.
Mhm.
You got lots of aluminum, check. You have access to importing of other materials that you need. You have access through China with neodymium for large amounts. You have access to just basic already developed technology that could be assembled and put on every single house that would be long-term cheaper, produce more power, and just be more overall efficient. Solar thermal system with a Stirling engine, and then it combines into the heating system for the house for everything, and then that heat can also be used to cool. So it can potentially be cooling, heating, hot water, power production, all decentralized right at a house.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I don't disagree with you. I just think that our policy on energy is the right way to go, and it's just wasting money.
Well, I mean, you have the same sort of deal that we do. I mean, most countries are. You got the same sort of, your money really isn't your money. It's more or less your capability, your resources, and what you can do, and then also you have the trade aspect, which can be used to bolster your own country's resources and capabilities to increase them and better utilize them. So or it can be used horribly to completely undermine all your industry and drive you into the ground. So there's a reason countries did protectionism. I think that was a pretty interesting topic on Australia.
We get some things right, but not all the time. I must admit, we get a lot of things wrong. It's just a matter of, I mean, our governments is like, as long as they're making it this way, we're going to make it the other way. There's no bipartisanship in anything. It's always one way or the other. And that's the thing that annoys me, is that we all know that energy is a problem, and we've got all these intellectuals out there that are saying this is how, and most of them are saying your way, Kevin. Most of them are saying the way to do it is by utilizing the sun and all that type of stuff. But the governments are just like, not a priority. We like coal. Coal has, creates jobs and all that type of stuff.
Also, they want to do oil steam extraction, where basically they pump hot steam into the ground. I think it's for coal, isn't it? Primarily in the coal heavy regions of Australia.
Mm-hmm.
I try to, I don't know, I've spent my time looking at a globe and then looking for what are resources of countries, and I don't know, I find that's a much better way to see how things fit together.
Yeah.
So, is it possible that there will be a new kind of solar panel that could be used for or that could be developed like with materials that are more readily available, or are more common or something like that, or maybe batteries also? I mean, and if that happened, it would be unfortunate if you do all this crazy mining to get something for the way we do it now, and then if we find a way to do it 10 times or 50 times more.
It's not a solar panel as you're thinking of it. It's an alternative way to change the energy from the sun into workable energy.
That's actually what I'm thinking about, is something totally rethinking it, something totally different. I'm just saying, I'm not thinking about anything specific. I'm thinking about question mark. Is there something out there that will be, devisable?
Well, just on solar panels alone, I mean, I know for a fact the ones that are currently readily available, primarily only on red light. So you're 2/3 of the spectrum you're leaving out. I mean, you look at the ones they stick up in space, or they put on Mars or whatever, those have 3 different layers inside them. You know, they're a lot more. They're a lot. Well, I think
Right, but they're more expensive. I'm talking about something cheaper and possibly more efficient or more, or more productive or whatever.
Well,
and more durable.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
solar cells are just
not so much.
Sneeze on them while you're assembling them; they're broken.
I always, never mind.
Well, there's a gallium arsenic concentrated electric and thermal.
Yeah, that's thermoelectric module. Yeah, and
no. I'm talking about the one I saw was it had a gallium arsenic actual solar cell. They concentrated the light through mirrors onto that to convert it directly to electricity. Then it had the thermoelectric modules pulling heat from it, or pulling heat through it, generating power, and then they're pulling the heat off the back. Basically, it had a compressor running on the back side of those electric panels. So you had the initial power production from the solar panels, the heat movement through the device, and then you had the heat that you could directly grab off to cool everything to keep it within operating parameters, and then you can utilize that
12% back off of what's wasted.
Yeah, especially
not insignificant.
12% only applies if you're running it at about, what was it, 800C on the seatback modules?
Oh, no, you can't go that high on a seatback.
Or was it 600C? I can't remember. I was looking.
Still sounds way
It's
over.
like 1,000 degrees. It's like 1,100. It's right in the operation range to where the concentrated solar plants function at.
Are you sure?
1,000
modules are known for.
These are gallium arsenic. They had an entire compressor system just to cool the thing so it didn't melt itself.
Okay.
That's the whole point of the cooling system. It is literally a electrically powered cooling system. Big compressor.
I haven't seen that one. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. I thought that was a really because you're combining solar cells, you're combining those thermoelectric modules, you're combining heat storage, which that heat is concentrated still, so it can still be utilized to make more power. And then after that, it can still be used for other stuff like material processing, just district heating grids. There are multiple layers of recovery, to make it as efficient as possible. And I think the efficiency on that one specifically got to I think electrical wise, conversion, it was 30 or 40% just off the solar panels, another 12% for the seatback thing. And then they weren't doing anything with it. Yeah, it is right around 50 or something percent, a little higher, and not bad at all, and it can be improved relatively easily. Well, not easily, but I mean the knowledge, the material, and it's set up in a way to where you can.
So
there's a lot of
if you could solve energy problems, though, I think
pretty much overnight, within 10 years, if we had a devoted effort,
help the environment. Whoever said that, that would be a great way to help the environment at the same time. It seems like that would do a lot for the environment.
Yeah, if we had a concerted effort to do these sort of things, just the United States alone, probably 10, 15 years, easy.
So what did you say, Ben, that would do a lot for the environment?
Oh no, I'm just saying the obvious. I'm just stating the obvious. That's I don't think it would solve every problem in the environment. It wouldn't just magically solve every problem, but if we had a really, I want to say futuristic. Sorry for that word choice, but futuristic, energy, then yeah, that seems like having that. And then I think maybe Kevin even said that earlier about it being almost nothing. So something like that where it was that abundant, and if it was
just as an example, Germany. Well, theirs is more or less they had to switch it to a negative rate just for the fact that they were making more power than they were consuming. So if they didn't pay people to use power, stuff could possibly blow up, and transformers are expensive. That's an example of where it can drop it to a negative rate. I mean, if it's set up through a country with storage and everything like that. It's to the point to where it's so abundant. It's just zero. It's free.
Yeah, I mean, like, you've got people in coal country asking about solar energy at this point. I mean, like, I don't know how many town halls I've sat through where I've seen people ask, like, hey, can we get a discount on having solar panels? I mean, what can we do to have a Green New Deal here? I mean, people aren't dumb. Like, they know that that's where the jobs are at. It's not in coal. Coal's not going to give you anything except for maybe poisoned water or something like that. But I mean, like, these people are smart. They know, like, hey, there's a better way to do things. But when we ask our representatives, like our supposed Governor Jim Justice, about what we can do about this stuff, he tells us, like, well, we'll see about it. We'll see. I don't know. But coal's the big gorilla in the room, not green energy. No, it's a dying industry like coal, where people have to sacrifice their lives and their health in order for you to have a resource that can be provided by fucking sunlight.
So I think that if it's the jungle in Brazil, or if it's ivory or something, rhino horn from Africa, it's the same kind of, like, just some sort of, like, primal market force, some kind of, like, supply and demand, just some kind of greed, and I don't want to go say that, but it's just like with mining and with all that stuff, it's kind of like, if there's coal there, my feeling somehow is that if there's coal there, they're just gonna get it. If there's still coal there, they're probably gonna go in there and get it. Like, if they want it, they're gonna get it. They want the rainforest, they're gonna, clear cut it. If it's kind of like, I think no matter who you are, it's kind of like, oh well, I'll just go ahead and sell this rainforest here, because if I don't do it, someone else will.
Yeah, I mean, but isn't that what we keep coming up against? Is the for now versus the for later? Because I mean, we want to have a planet to live on, like 20 years from now, right? Like, that's our big thing. It's like, hey, maybe we don't want the world to combust in it, just a fiery inferno by 2030. So hey, maybe let's have a little bit less coal and a little bit more solar energy. But we're versus it's the for later people versus the for now people, and the for now people are winning out because they're preaching to choir, which is the poor people, and the poor people always live for now. They can't live for tomorrow. That's the thing, is like, they can't look forward. Oh, well, a Green New Deal would be great in the future, but right now I've got a job in coal, so why do I want to fuck with that?
But
Okay, well, like, that's what they keep. That's the difference. Is like, really, the Green New Deal is what is going to keep us alive for the long term. I mean, that's what's best for our children. That's what's best for, just the world, around. But we're so focused on the here and now that we can't look past our shitty little jobs in coal, or our shitty electric bills, or whatever. Like, I mean, that's the dichotomy. That's what we're stuck in. That's exactly what we're stuck in now versus later.
Okay,
and
but
people that are in that kind of predicament don't get to plan for later.
Right, but the rich people are also thinking about now rather than later. But if they were thinking about later, if the rich people in power, and who were at the helm of these, huge, mighty industries, then if they were thinking about later, I really believe that, really occurs to me that, in being environmental is profitable. There's got to be a point where, like, preserving things for the future, having that more later is profitable. Like, there's an end, I think, to the whole scarcity is profit, horse blinders, and yeah.
I mean, yeah, we don't live in a scarcity. That's the problem, is like, they want to make you think like there's no way we could ever live outside of the system that we're in. But we could totally live outside of our system. I mean, we could have, solar and wind energy. We could have, replicators. I mean, that's like a Star Trek type, that's a futuristic, that can happen. But the way that Snork kind of explains, like, these 3D printers and stuff, it's like, we could kind of have something like that. I mean, maybe not exactly, but I mean, we could have a world where we didn't have to have cashiers and stuff like that. We could live in a world where we could have education and people that worked on things that and actually gave them meaning, that they got paid a decent wage. But we don't live in a society like that, because why? Just why? I don't understand why we can't reach that, or why we can't attain that. Because I mean, if you look at the history, when you look at everything, all the facts show, this is not the road that we should be going down. Like, this makes no sense to me. I mean, I'm all about listening to other people, but nobody has given me anything when it comes to capitalism, when it comes to the military-industrial complex. I mean, please give me a reason to vote for this, but I don't. So why the hell should I vote for that shit? But then when I don't, it's like, oh, I'm just a Putin bot because I saw an ad on Facebook or something.
Oh, I know.
Supposedly.
Oh my God.
I mean, literally everything that's going on in the world is literally burning down around us. But the reason that we vote against that shit, and the people that will perpetuate that shit, oh no, we must be Russian bots. That must be it. We were influenced by Putin. That's the only reason why we would have a reason to vote against Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump, because I mean, we had to be influenced by some kind of propaganda, because that's obviously the right way to vote. I mean, it just blows my mind.
Or we're considered unpatriotic.
Yeah, oh yeah, we won't stand for the anthem, or you take a knee or whatever. I mean, oh my God, give it a fucking break. I'm so tired of this shit. How many years have I been watching this shit? Only 2 years, 2, 3 years. I mean, I know that there's some of y'all that have been in it for a long, long time. I do not know how people have that kind of patience, because I've only been in it for a couple of years, and I'm like, all right, I see through the bullshit. What is it that we've got to do? I see that the Democrats are flawed. I see that the Republicans are flawed, and everything is flawed. Everything. It's like, what the fuck are we supposed to do? And that's why I like Kevin's idea, which was to totally just leave them out of the equation. Find a way that you can provide for your community without your government. I mean, there's so many things that we can do, but we don't trust and believe in ourselves enough to think that we can do it, so we never even try. I mean, that's the hugest thing around here, is I see people that are capable of so much, and they squander it on nothing. I see people that are literal geniuses, people that have IQs above 130, that they are spending their lives wiping down tables at Burger King. What the fuck? I mean, there's so much that we could be using. So many people that could be, exploring their potential. But instead, nope, we're going to have them wipe down tables at fucking Burger King. All right.
I think there has to be some pressure on people, though. Like, if you just give them income and a place to live, there's no pressure on people to do anything remarkable, or to be able to, there's not that hunger that makes them go out and make sure they get a job, or whatever it is. I mean, I don't mean to just be an asshole, but it seems like if there was something that rewarded people for working their ass off, that is in place also to reward people that want to work their ass off and get a PhD level, have that kind of knowledge, or have 3 PhDs worth of knowledge. I mean, that would be a better society than a bunch of people that turn into idiocracy sitting around eating Cheetos or something, not having any.
I mean, but we don't have that, do we? I mean, when's the last time that you busted your ass that you got rewarded for it? I mean, can you name something? Any job that you've had where you're like, yeah, if I give it 110%, I'm going to be rewarded for that. I'm going to get a bonus. I'm going to get some kind of gift card. No. They don't do any of that shit. I mean, I've worked minimum wage jobs, that I've worked some professional jobs. And either way, I never got a fucking bonus for any kind of work that I did, ever.
No, yeah, I found that it's mostly you have to
1
kiss somebody's
second
butt to get promoted. That's what it really comes down to, is you didn't be friendly enough with them.
What I wanted to shit. Fuck. What was the last part of what Stevie said? The very last end. The bonuses. Yeah, that crumbs bill. That 2,500. It says able to. There's no guarantee. They're not obligated to. They're not
All right, that was something. Only for 1 second, fellas. 1 second. What's going on? Okay. We are back. New Zoom session. So come on in. All right. Stop following me, Josie. I have a dog here. You want to say hello to everybody? All right, let's see. Come on. We all set. Good night, Fly. You want to come up here? You want to say hello? Okay. There you go. Say hello. Say hello right there. Say hello to them, Josie. You want to see him? Look over here. Okay. All right. Well, I guess I might be shutting off if no one's coming in. Whoa, Josie. Hold on, fella. I think they're in the other chat. I think they're in the other Zoom. You have the other Zoom. And come to this one. We'll see. We'll see what's going on. I don't know what they did. They just closed it. And hi. You want to see? What are you doing? No. Guess it's just me. And I ain't gonna be on for a while. Ah, my goodness. Whoa, 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 whoa. Careful, careful, careful. Okay, let's move this out of there. Let's see. You know what? Oh, 4 people. I didn't. Oh, here we go. Angel. What? Is that Angel? Hello, can anyone hear me? I can't hear anything. What's going on? Oh.
Hello, can anybody hear me?
Yes, I can hear.
Yeah, I kept getting the doorbell that was like I was leaving and then coming in and leaving, and then all of a sudden, like, it was weird. I was just sitting here talking to myself, like, hello, can anybody hear me?
Yeah, this is weird.
I don't know what's going on. Who else is in here? Can anybody else hear us? I know me and Evan's in here.
I see, yeah, Amanda, Kevin, Ben, Angel's in here. I don't know if that's Angel. Oh, no.
What, Angel's in here?
Is that Angel Tibbs?
I don't know.
Hell yeah, that'd be awesome.
Oh, I wanted to finish what I was saying just a second ago. Stevie said the bonus thing, and then that kind of reminded me of the crumbs bill, and it said 2,500 tax-free or whatever, but it's not mandatory. So basically, we can pass this, but we'll only give bonuses if we feel like it. You know, it's like, why not just substantially easier, just raise everybody's wages? Why give the optional bonus thing to raise people's wages? They're going to choose no, obviously.
Who's typing so loud? Oh, Ryan.
Yeah, I thought I got disconnected. My phone every once in a while, it doesn't matter if I'm on here or where I'm. Actually, I've had less of a chance that it happens if I'm on here, but usually if I'm just on the phone, it'll disconnect completely, and then I have to wait a couple of minutes and then call back. I keep getting disconnected, but for some reason, I guess maybe it's just the time of day that when I'm on here, it doesn't happen as often. But yeah, I got booted. That sucks.
Angel tried. She got through.
Yeah, glad you're on here, Angel.
She left though. She's surrendering.
Shit.
Yeah. Nice to hear.
Did she try getting on by through like a tablet or internet thing, or was she trying to call?
It was a tablet or something. It was. You could see, if you can see that it wasn't just a phone call. So it was.
Because I had problems trying to get in right at first too. It I think you were just resetting it or something like that. She might want to try again.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, continue on. You guys have co-host. I won't give you the host. I don't want it to explode again. All right. All right, keep it going. I really gotta be.
Thank you, Ebon. Thanks, dude. Gotta be appreciative of that, putting this on for us.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, like, I don't even have a means to. If it wasn't for Evan, I could not do any kind of live, communication whatsoever. So I'm like super, super glad that he does this kind of thing, and James Manitalk for doing this kind of thing. Because like, if it wasn't for y'all, I wouldn't have a means of communication with the outside world. So I'm super glad y'all do this.
So like, I think that it was funny. Like Angel came in here. I think that was Angel, and same one from the chat. And it's like, I think the chat there is like a chat within a chat sometimes. Although it's not just a chat here, it's like a video chat. And it's not just that, it's like one that, you guys actually admirably enough so like get like Green Party political candidates and stuff out here to talk with. I mean, it's pretty cool. It's more than just talk, I guess, in a little bit, but
I mean, seriously, when you look at what makes a channel, and I'm not just saying this to like blow smoke up y'all's asses, but like, seriously, I mean, it's the chat. It's seriously the chat that really makes the channel. Because when you look at Tim Black's chat, when you look at TYT's chat, Jimmy Doors, I mean, like, you see a huge difference between the people. And you see, like, the people that are in it that actually pay attention, that are actually aware and share the message. So it's like, the people that are in chat right now, it's like, those are the backbone. They are the backbone of our community. So it's like, we can get up here and talk and say whatever we want, but if it wasn't for them, I mean, we wouldn't have the platform that we have. So, I mean, I'm very, very appreciative to those people.
I'd like for there to be another level, another layer. So like, how you get onto here, and then there's like this chat, and then there's the other chat, like and the like the typing chat that carries on. Like,
yeah.
It would be cool if like you got onto like the first thing first, and then there was like 20 different rooms, and I mean that's like just like an old chat room hub of different.
I can barely keep up with the two here.
No.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, 20 different ones. There would be something to be said about the integratedness of that potentially.
No, I mean, I dig that. I dig the concept of it. I mean, like, it's a good concept to have different, different chats and stuff, different ideas and stuff floating around. But yeah, I get what you're saying, Rebels. Like, my attention is so divided just between doing like, on the phone and trying to divide it between that and the chat. It's like, yeah, seriously.
The best part of the best potential of this thing is when people, there's more and more people joining. There's more and more people coming in, participating, joining. That's what's exciting about it for me. And for me, I think it happens far too slowly for new people to come and be here. So if you have that kind of a situation, then, more people are coming, then you got room for them. That's all I'm saying. If you had like a table A through Z. But
I was in one, like chat room number 9, I'd be wondering what's happening in 4. I gotta go over there, and then I'd be
Yeah, but
like,
what if there was an interface and you like looked at this one screen and there was like 12
oh hell no,
There's, like,
baby.
then you had the figures of each one, like how many people were watching, how many likes, how many whatever, like you had like a little preview of it, and then you could kind of like move your mouse around, and when you moved it on the particular one, then the audio would like pick up for that one, and you could kind of like see, and people could, you know, bounce around and do whatever, just be in the typing chat or the other chat, like, you know, like for, but
Yeah,
that's
my
just,
brain
just
would
a thought. I didn't want to stay on that too long or anything. I just want to put that out there again.
My brain would glitch, and then I'd just leave.
I think Ben's got a good idea. I mean, Jimmy Dore covers a large amount of topics within a week, within his live podcasts. It would be good to have maybe separate rooms for different topics, because not everybody is going to enjoy the gun control topic, but you have another chat room where
Porn.
they're discussing pornography, or they're discussing adult sex toys in another one, and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like talking in another chat room, they're talking about corruption of the government, and in another chat room, they're talking about Trump. Because all I see on Jimmy Dore is just like a massive wall of text going boom, 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 boom.
Right.
So,
And it all disappears.
yeah, and it's not all on the same subject.
Because I don't think the Jimmy Dore has the text like this chat, like this does, like doesn't have the text on the side going on. Not yet anyway. But
no, this is an OBS thing.
What makes this cool also, and what I wouldn't want to compromise, I suppose, would be like the way that. And I was thinking about this just when I was just kind of joining in. I was listening for a while, but I decided to join in, and I was like, you know, this is a very civil. It's very civil discussion. Honestly, I mean, if it gets heated or whatever, but honestly, it's not super bad. And there are a lot of people that are determined, and there are a lot of people that are quiet, and a lot of people that maintain that like orderliness of it. It's really cool. So I mean, you wouldn't want to make too many or get it to some certain point to where it all spiraled out of control and it just turned into like the same thing that chat rooms used to be with well, I don't know. You guys maybe weren't there. I saw what that was. So I used to hang around Yahoo chats for a couple of years and just.
Oh yeah, I did too.
All right, cool. Thanks for that.
Why? So that
I'm like talking about it and you hear crickets. But the chats they didn't stay around. They kind of.
You know what I did? I created a MySpace.
I mean, just recently, I know.
Yes, I just did.
Jenny Lynn was talking about, like, I don't know, a few months back. She was like, you know, I mean, MySpace is so awesome, and like, you know, you could customize that shit. You could, you know, make your profile. You could put music on there. You could change the background. Like Facebook, you don't get to do any of that. I mean, that's why I was so slow to turn on to Facebook, because like MySpace really lets you like personalize that shit, and like Facebook does not let you do that at all.
And
yeah,
I am
MySpace was onto something.
I am keeping MySpace to just music. That is gonna be my bubble spot, you know.
But Facebook, and I don't know how soon
Did
you
I
joined
say? I said Spacebook, didn't I?
Yep.
What do you call? What is it? Shit.
It's MySpace.
Yeah.
Yeah, MySpace. Back in the early days of Facebook, it was you used to have all your apps on your wall. So if you were on Farmville and Mahjong and you were in a group, it would all be on your wall. So people could go to your profile and just scroll through everything that you liked, and then they scrapped it.
And they could find things that way. People were sources that way, and it's like, no, we don't want you to find things we don't want you to find. We don't want you to be a source of stuff. We want our advertisement partners to be the sources of what you see and can
exactly
find.
Yeah, I remember the early days of Facebook where you needed a college email address in order to create a Facebook profile, because it wasn't that the original thing, like it was for college students.
Yep.
And then eventually it branched out. And then now it's like you're getting friend requests from your fucking parents. It's like that's what happened to MySpace. That's why MySpace went down, because like your parents were on there and they were like, "Oh, hey, sweetie, give me a friend request. You know, be my friend." You're like, "Oh shit, it's time for me to move on." And then Facebook started getting big, and now Facebook, everybody's getting. I mean, who has not gotten a friend request from their parent or has not been requested by somebody like that? Like, seriously, that's when Facebook, you're like, "Yep, I guess I'm going to Twitter because my fucking family done found me on Facebook, so I guess it's time to move on to the next thing, because this shit is seriously uncool." Once your parents send you a friend request, that platform is done, man. Like, it's dead. Like, there's no, you do not want to be on the same platform as your parents. I'm sorry. Like, I love my mom. I love her dearly, but I don't want to be her friend.
It was a White Stripes concert, and I watched it on YouTube. It was like, for some reason, it was posted to YouTube a long time ago. And I was gonna say, like, you know, YouTube used to all be free. There used to be no commercials, and now they got you paying 10 or who knows per month. That was slow, creeped its way in. Little process. With the ads, you know, gotta watch it. How things turn slow like that, like gas prices creep up slowly. And but yeah, there was a White Stripes concert. It was like an hour and 20 minutes long. I went through it. I watched most of it, even though quality wasn't that good. It was good music, and so I'm listening to that. And in the middle of the concert, it was like an hour in or 50 minutes in or something. He just stops playing. Jack White. He says, "I want, you know, there's too much like negativity." I forgot what he said, like negativity or hate. He's like, "Everyone, you know, and like, let's be personal or super." I forgot what he said exactly. I forgot. But the point was, he just goes, "Everyone, turn to the person next to you, and like, and tell them your name." And then, so like everyone's do that. You hear the crowd all talking, and then he's like, "And then I want everyone to call your mom." And then he went back to playing. And then it was like, and what it made me think of. I mean, it's like art, so I shouldn't like say what it really means because who knows. But it's like what it made me think of was like, okay, you have the name that you know your peer would call you. You know, when you're thinking of like your peer talking to you, thinking of you like, then you have like your name when your mom calls your name, right? Like, so it's like different
This is what it looks like now.
person almost that they're talking to, because they get different eyes.
That's a nice image. That's a really nice image.
I love it. I can't wait till I start using it. I got Bruce Springsteen on here though.
But there was a good thing behind MySpace, is it was teaching people how to code, like basic coding. That's what I liked about MySpace.
How was that?
Yeah. That's a good point.
Well, you could go in and you can change the backgrounds. You can go in and change all the colors. You can go in and change the layout. You can change, you know, you can put in widgets and different sorts of content. And
do you remember? Do you remember? Here I am interrupting you to say something, but it had it was like this music player, and it had like all these little crazy skins and stuff. And Winamp. You remember Winamp? No,
I don't.
Never mind.
My MySpace days was very limited.
It was like this Winamp thing, and there's a music player. You could download all these different kind of things that were like these different feature, like little side app. It was weird, but yeah, like it was like building on. It was like, here's this thing, and you can build on and do all these different things, and it's opening up possibilities for you. I guess that kind of aspect.
And I guess going on what Stevie was saying, I think what would be worse than getting a parent request would be getting a grandparent request.
Lord, I then got that on Facebook too. Like, not only did my mom friend request me, but my grandma friend request me. But I was like BFF with my grandma, so like that shit was cool. But my mom friend requested me. Oh, that was like the uncoolest shit in the world.
I don't think that's the worst part about it.
I don't want my mom to know what I'm doing. I know, like I'm sitting there like posting like bisexual pride shit and like talking about like, you know, fuck the cops, and then like my mom friend requests me. I'm like, oh, that's not good, Mom. Like, you don't know what you're about. you don't know what you're gonna see with this.
You don't really know your daughter.
Like, Mom, I love you, but if you want to keep loving me, don't friend request me.
I think it's the unapologetic way that they like influence the election and then have the nerve to like say they're going to censor accounts because they were in cahoots with Russian something via accidental, like Rebel was saying, like that's messed up and backwards. And you know, they did own up. They said they had to like penalize 3 employees who had access to their code and changed and all these and got rid of all these anti-Hillary posts and got rid of all these like pro-Bernie posts for like months during the primaries. And then they're just like, oops, sorry, some employees we punished them. They had access to the blah, 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 and they did that. Well, they had pretty high up access, huh? And they weren't fired? And that's not, you know, that's not serious. Like, I mean, that's
I believe
talks about that.
I believe there was actually a person that directly worked for Google that was hired into the HRC campaign, and he just what the fuck was his name? I literally can't remember his name right offhand, but if you look it up, you should be able to find it.
There's emails, you know, right? I mean, that's like the big guy, like, I mean, the guy, you know. He was like, you know, very pro HRC campaign.
I mean, they're so blatantly obvious with their fraud. I mean, any nitwit with a few hours looking through this should be able to figure it out.
Well, there were all kinds of articles on that Facebook doing that, and then the only article I can find now is on Guardian. The only one that didn't take it down, or that's not been liked from our internet. Talk about the Chinese firewall. I mean, the only one that we can see, the only one I could find on Google was the Guardian, where they talk about Facebook, you know, where they still report on it. The same thing with a couple other articles I was looking for. It's hardly there. All the WikiLeaks like screenshots that used to be on Google Images, they're gone.
Yeah, it's just like I think the most blatant example that everybody was exposed to was the search engines. Because anytime, I mean, you typed in anything on Google, first thing came up is everything positive HRC. But you go to any other search engine, and it's like type in HRC, evil Satanist bitch kills millions. You know,
that was Redacted Tonight did a bit about that.
Yeah, and that's just, you know, yeah. And guess what? Government-funded industry just so happens to be shoehorned into a lot of technology. What about your Android? Can you remove that Google off your phone? Can you, you know, you have to root your phone to get rid of that shit.
Could you get rid of that Winamp, or what was it?
No, to get rid of the crap that they put on it. Like the bloatware. Well, they shouldn't have been called bloatware. It should be called bloat, spying, and theftware.
Well, still, I mean, we're not being honest. I mean, it's all just a big joke until we can be honest about what came out 2 freaking years ago. I mean, like that was the true nature of what went down. We like, as a country, I think did the right thing by not electing Hillary Clinton. I think that was, but what you hear is that, oh, this legend was stolen from her, and this tragedy happened, and you just hear this certain narrative. Obviously, we all know this in the media, or I think we all know that you hear this certain narrative in the media, which acts like, you know, it was this travesty and injustice done to the poor Democrats, and it's like,
oh yeah,
you know,
they were so abused with their 1.2 or 1.4 billion dollar campaign. God.
Who already had the DNC preparing for the electoral run way before the primaries were over. I mean, they were preparing for the election from forever. Like, it had all the benefits, all the advantages that you could really ask for, you know. And then their inability to own up to their own, you know, mistakes, and it blew out. It would have been one thing if news was able to cover what happened, like cover the WikiLeaks, then get it over with. But instead, they just made it, you know, everybody knew it was out there. Everybody knew like it wasn't about a pasta recipe or whatever. Like, but what was it? Well, it wasn't. Not a word of it was spoken on mainstream TV. It was just like, I mean, maybe a little bit on Fox, but
Now, about the rigging
not all of it.
about the rigging of the primaries, I mean, we do have one clear example where they've admitted fraud and wrongdoing, and that's the 200,000 they purged out of Brooklyn. That's one example. Now that sets precedent to look through the rest of this shit.
Oh, you mean New York's electoral votes? That's not a big deal, like, or whatever. Not electoral votes. I'm sorry.
Not electoral votes, but the primary votes. But it sets precedent. I mean, it shows for a fact that they, I mean, a guaranteed, verifiable, 100% that they do this.
Right, Kevin. But it would have set an entirely different precedent, man. If Hillary Clinton would have went on to win after doing that, that would have set a totally different precedent and normalized something totally more like serious. And then, you know, how would we have been, you know, basically talking about that then? We'd be even more suppressed, or the narrative would be even more, you know, or how do you say it? Suppressed, stifled, I don't know, silenced, you know, than it is now. It's already like it's already.
If Hillary Clinton would have won, you saw Hillary's rallies. They're all just tiny little things. She can't even fill a fucking schoolroom auditorium. All right. Yeah, you know for a fact, if she won, I mean, I know the hatred. They do not like her. She, her family, and her actions have made them miserable for decades, me included. So all hell would have fucking broke loose.
Well, what if they would have like cheated Donald Trump actually at the end? Like, what if they would have been like some kind of big thing and it was like obvious again, yet again, strikes again, like another foul play? I mean, what kind of, it's like almost like shudder to think, right? Hard to even imagine like what would have happened. So I think we dodged a bullet on them. Like,
well, we dodged one bullet, but we got hit by a different bullet.
Yeah, we got more. Yeah, we got another one now. Trump.
What was the dial-up speeds? Can you remember about
pathetic? KTAs, kilobytes per second.
Yeah, can you remember the numbers?
Not specifically, but normally it depends on your location for dial-up what speed you're going to get, because if you're within the locality where they can route it to one of those boxes or route it from one of those boxes, you can actually get decent broadband. You know, I'm using it right now. I got dial-up.
What they used to be.
And you're talking so clear. Wow.
Well, it's the out in the boony people that end up with the kilobytes per second, because from that central thing, the phone line, it's done. It's 52 volts and by frequency to do the data connection. I think somewhere along something like that. But it's the further away you go, the less cost effective it is for dial-up, because you need what the hell is the damn device called? It's like a signal booster basically, and you need them like every 20 miles or something like that.
Oh wow.
It's something along those lines. I might not have that exactly right, but that's the general idea.
It's brilliant. It's freaking so like such a marvel. It's just such a marvel.
Well,
what was Snork saying?
No, I thought you were talking about what the speeds were we used to have for dial-up.
Yeah.
My first modem was 300 baud, and it was marked for 180 baud as an option fallback.
That's lower than kilobytes per second, isn't it?
Yes, baud.
I don't even know that measurement.
What was it in 80?
Baud is basically baud rate. It is similar to bits per second, but it's also skips counting the it doesn't exclude the stop bits, the end bits, and the extra housework bits that are along with every byte that gets sent. So it's not talking about each byte that's being sent, it's each bit. So it would take 12 bits, I think, to make a character. Because you're used to seeing 8, but it has the extra ones out of the window to tell what it is. So we could basically type faster than our communication speed.
Huh.
That was really early days of the internet. And then we shared common CPU, which our terminal would go to a computer in Ames, Iowa, to hit the main trunk, and then the computers between the universities would all speak together over the DARPAnet.
Okay, you guys ready? Whoops.
That's a horrible noise.
Yeah, there was negotiation. Each of the modems says, try this speed, try this speed, try this, and they walk it up.
I cannot stand that noise. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
I heard that noise. I was like, what the fuck's going on with my phone? All right, something's going wrong. That was my initial thought was, oh, I done messed something up.
Just out of curiosity, Snork, how familiar are you with like the history of technology and like how everything emerged? Like just generally.
Oh, not everything. But yeah, I'm familiar with a bunch of things.
I'm always thinking about these like 70 different podcasts that I want to work you to death making. Like when I went to China, like when I went to China both times, it's like there's like 20 people that'll employ me right away. I don't want all those jobs at all, but there's like 20 people that want to hire me, like to do 20 different full-time jobs, because it's like you got so many things you could do, I think.
So I've got something I'm working on right now, so I'll be pretty busy for a while.
Sweet, good to hear it.
Oh, you mean not exactly right now, right? You mean like later?
Later, when I'm done drawing this Prince thing.
Are you still working on the Prince thing?
You know, that is like the hardest thing there is to draw.
Well, why don't you just print it off? Isn't that easier?
Now entering the data points for the robot.
Oh, can you point your camera down to see how that works? I mean, please, I'm sorry.
No, you're not being rude. I got my screen's backwards.
Can you hold it up?
Is it sharing?
Do you see it, guys? Oh, yeah, I see it now. Oh, look at that.
I think I got it close. But it takes like 1,000 different commands to draw this.
Just what is this for?
My dildo.
Just trying to keep my hands busy.
Because if that's your dildo, that's pretty terrifying. Are you trying to pleasure yourself or stab yourself to death?
Well, he said he could draw it.
Is it a dildo or medieval torture dildo?
Either way, it sounds tempting.
I know, right? I'm not quite sure how to answer that if one way would. Make people think I'm weird. I don't want to lie either.
Apply for the patent.
Oh man, you would need to have a patent for that and then sell it on some sex toys.
Rule 34. Let's check.
What do I get for trying it? What is that called? Something.
I don't know, but you have to sign a non-prosecution agreement or in case this causes physical damage.
We should just reroute all of our energies in this show to just like, full-time like dildo brainstorming sessions.
Yeah, the world's going to hell
like this program brought to you by this dildo. By the Jackrabbit. Brought to you by the Jackrabbit.
Brought to you by Amanda's brought to you by Amanda's special friend.
His name is Frank.
And then have a picture of a man standing like this.
Just instead of James Y. Manitalk, it's James Y. Dildo Design Brainstorming Sessions.
Hell, we could get you a website. Get you all hooked up with a website.
I mean, you gotta think that there's a lot of people that are employed in the dildo making industry. So how do they explain to people, when they're like, "Oh, hey, what do you do?" Like, well, I make things. Generally,
I design things.
I make toys.
Yeah, I make toys for a living. Oh, well, that must be fantastic.
Well, for somebody it is, I guess.
I mean, whatever. I mean, does it really matter what you're making, whether it's, a car part or a dildo? Like, does it really...
I don't know. You might want to reevaluate your life if you've got a job designing dildos.
I mean, there's plenty of people around here. I know I live in the Bible Belt, but I guarantee you if there was a plant that opened up that was just solely dedicated to the
mass production dildo
of,
plant,
double-headed dildo industry, those motherfuckers would turn up in the thousands to work there. They would work there and they would go to church on Sunday and they would pray and say, "Dear Lord, baby Jesus, please absolve us from any sins that we have when it comes to our sexual, indications." It's like, and then they'll go back to work at, working at the dildo factory. That's what they'll do.
Is that what I?
That's a dildo factory.
God.
So I was talking about.
I'm sorry, but the very thought of a dildo factory cracks me up. I told you I was a child when it comes to this.
I just talking about that today with someone. South Park 200 and 201st episode. It's banned and like you can't get it even on the DVD. There's nowhere to find that episode. And I just remembered some part of the episode, like in the very beginning, the whole theme of the episode. I do remember it. It was like Tom Cruise. They find Tom Cruise working at a fudge packing factory.
Oh God, I remember that. I actually got that downloaded.
You do? You do?
Yeah.
Oh my God! You should screen it like every night on a YouTube channel. This is
I wonder how much you get paid doing that.
Dude, I can't find that anywhere. I wish I had that downloaded.
Oh, that is way huge.
Just like the whole manufacturing process, I find really interesting.
Oh, you know what's gross? Oh my God, you know what's gross?
What?
I just thought they touch it before. I'm so glad I wash mine when I get them.
Oh yeah, you got to wash them. Could you imagine using your dildo and thinking of him, the owner? It's like
this is just like not cool.
When their kids are like 14, they got to sit down and have a talk about where they really work. They don't really work.
No, but his daughter's hot. Did you not just see his daughter? Hang on, I'll just go back a bit. The owner's daughter. So the guy in the yellow shirt, that's his daughter.
Mm-hmm. They just walk by in that?
Well, I'm sure if he lost weight and everything, he would.
That's his son there. With the
and what do they do?
That's
They
a
make
dildo.
adult sex toys.
And his daughter and his man, that is like a weird premise. I'm sorry. Like, I get it. Like, it's all about the business. It's all about,
I want to
productivity.
work there.
But goddamn, I cannot imagine a job where I have to go in every day and talk to my son about sex toys. Like, that would kill me inside. I don't know how they do that. How do they do that?
Me and my
How
brother
about
talk about them.
how about being the person that's you turn around and go, oh, so what do you do for a living? I test sex toys.
See, now that doesn't sound as bad as manufacturing test toys. At least you get something out of it. Like if you're just manufacturing it, like you're not you're just doing work, man. If you're testing them, at least there's like a possibility of some pleasure out of your job.
My fucking God, some of those were so big around, and no way.
They actually look like they're made a little bit like hearing aids.
Yeah.
Like hearing aids. What do you mean?
The process of dipping and getting the shape.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So when I got my hearing aids, they did the process of sticking a whole heap of silicone in my ear, and then they realized that they didn't need to do that for my hearing aids. So it's just like, okay, but they send that away, and like Snork said, they make molds and dip and all that type of stuff, and then they send it back, fit it. If it doesn't fit, it gets sent back and all that type of stuff.
Where did you have it?
Here in Australia. Here in Australia.
They made them in Australia?
Yeah.
Okay.
They don't actually make the hearing aid, but they make the bit that goes in your ear.
Okay.
The fitted bit. So most of the ones that I saw are made by Siemens.
I'm not sure if that's the company that bought the one I did at factory for or not.
Siemens are huge.
Yeah.
I hate saying that name, but yeah, Siemens is huge.
Yeah, that's a massive, like, huge company.
Yeah. A lot of fingers in a lot of pies. But I tell you what really gets my brain ticking is prosthesis. That's what I find really, really intriguing, and how they do the one where people have either just below the knee or above the knee amputation, but they put the prosthesis into the bone. They drill into the bone. They put the metal bit into the bone, so it's there all the time. I don't know if that's...
Yeah, the whole thing of like prosthesis always like intrigues me because there's so much I feel like we can do with that. There's people out there that have lost like arms and legs, and I've witnessed this like firsthand. In the ICU, it's like it's such a blow to know like, okay, well, there's an extremity that I can't use anymore. But there's also so much science like that we're on the verge of, to where we can actually, make these. There's things that we can do for these people to where they don't have to be bedridden, or that they don't have to, actually lose the loss of a limb. It's like, okay, you got your arm cut off. Well, we can make you a new one. We can make you a better one. Like that's where we should be with this stuff. Like we should really be funding this when it comes to like our government and industry and stuff like that. There's so many people that I've seen that have lost a limb. And it's over the least little thing. I saw somebody that lost a leg over a BB gun incident. They got shot in the leg with a BB gun, and they lost a leg. They lost a whole entire leg.
That had to get infected. I've been shot with a fucking BB gun, and normally you just pick that BB out you and dump a little alcohol in there, and you're good to go.
Yeah, that's.
Well, I think it was a combination of like point blank range and a couple other things, and it just so happened to be in the right place at the right time, and But it's like there's people like that. It's like, and we can make them whole again. We can make them like not feel like they're lacking something, you know, and we could do that, but we don't put the resources into that. We don't put the funding into that. We don't have the brains to put into that. So it's like, you know, it goes by the wayside because, you know, I don't know. It's like I really wish there was something out there for these people because I've seen so many of these incidents in the ICU. It's like, you know, a traumatic leg incident or a traumatic arm incident or, you know, yeah, I mean, there's just so many things that happen. It's just, you don't think that it's normal, but having worked in the ICU, it was normal. It was a normal part of our lives in there. It's like, damn, man, those people need something. They need an outlet. They need something. They need help. They need help right now. You know.
Well, I got a story for you. There's a guy here in Australia who is 3D printing arms for kids, and like the components for kids that have got arm amputations, and he's put it online for $5 to buy the print. But he's a guy who got sacked because of the car manufacturing has disappeared in Australia, and he was an engineer at General Motors Holden, and he's like, well, what can I do? And he turned to 3D printing body parts for kids who aren't getting government funding. I mean, a kid with her arm cut off there, just below the elbow, isn't getting any government funding for prosthesis. I mean,
yeah,
doesn't make
exactly.
My kids' shoes are hard to pay for. Then they grow out of them. That's terrible.
I
Kids
think
are so sensitive to stuff too.
I think prosthesis are great and all, but I kind of that's kind of like that's I get it. It's great. It helps them. It improves their quality of life. But I think kind of the ultimate goal is kind of like, well, you grew your arms to begin with, and you grew your teeth to begin with. You even grew your teeth twice. I mean, what's to say? I mean, enough research. I mean, you have people like Snork that's regrown a tooth 3-4 times. You know, thick, heavy bone. I mean, those are genetic factors that can be taken advantage of. Yeah, you know, what if you can say instead of giving you a prosthesis, you might have a kind of limp arm for a few years, but eventually you'll have a full-size one again.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but I think it's ridiculous that we don't have regrowable teeth at this point. I mean, sharks have regrowable teeth. Is that so much to ask for? I'm sorry, but science is fucking amazing.
I'd rather
think that we
slow
can
down
do
all
that
the
shit.
Frankenstein stuff and like and really analyze what we do, you know, to just go playing with fire all the time, you know. That's what's a big problem, I think, with that. That's what all our problems are, that are slowing us down and like hindering us, thwarting us in the future. Is like,
I know there's a massive ethical argument in doing things like that. I just want to kind of state that. But I mean, and it can be god awful and turn into a hellhole, but there is the possibility of using it for something good.
I think for the time being, prosthesis are probably the way to go until that sort of scientific development has occurred where we can regrow arms and stuff like that. I mean,
well, I can't find it right now, but they had.
I imagine the teeth thing would be the first one to happen.
I'm sorry, but does that not seem like common basic sense? As much as you have problems with your teeth, as full-grown adults, as most of us are here, it's like, you know, we're totally cut off from the, you know, dental insurance program, because most of that shit goes for kids that have teeth that can regrow as adult teeth. I'm sorry, that seems silly to me. I mean, like, I know, like, we should fund that shit, but at the same time, it's like we're funding that, but we're not funding adult teeth that can go bad and not regrow. I mean, like, at least children's teeth can regrow as, you know, like, healthy adult teeth. Adult teeth don't have that fucking option. So why is it that once you turn 21, you don't get fucking dental insurance? I mean, that shit can literally kill you. I'm going through this right now. My teeth are literally rotting inside of my head. It fucking drives me crazy. I mean, like, it's like, you know, you go out into like a job interview or whatever. It's like, You know, you can't even smile. You can't show your teeth. You can't do anything. I mean, like, people were looking for me for a picture from me, you know, where I'm smiling. I'm like, there's no pictures where I'm smiling because I can't smile because my teeth are so fucking bad. Like, that's the reality of the situation. You got people out there that literally can't smile because their teeth are so fucking bad. You know, like that's the world we live in.
Come on, Stevie, don't be asking for
It
handouts.
doesn't matter what your job is. It doesn't matter what your job is. If you're unemployed or you're employed, you got bad teeth, okay? Like, I mean, like, it's rare that you can afford to have a good set of teeth.
No,
That's the
what
world we
pisses
live in.
me off is that for 5 years now, they have done stem cell on rats, and they have created molars that actually look like the molar that got pulled out of their mouth, and it has roots and everything, and it can be put back into it can be grafted, and they've done it, and yet 5 years, and they're not helping it get to the human level yet.
I mean, I've seen research where people can regrow teeth. I mean, like that's a thing now where there's a branch of science where people are looking into regrowing teeth so that way that we don't have to have dentures and stuff like that. You know, it's like, and we look at things. That's what bugs me about all this, you know, healthcare talk, is the fact that dental and mental health care are considered a privilege. I mean, like, even though that ties into who you are as a human being, like, you cannot, you know, separate dental health from your normal health when it's causing all these health problems. You can't separate mental health from your physical health when it's causing you to call in to work, or, you know, you have to go into inpatient care, or whatever, you know, whatever it is. It's like, why do we consider those things separate when they go to our overall physical well-being? I mean, we see celebrities that chuck themselves in all the time over exhaustion and things like that. You know, physical, you know, healthcare, you know, problems. But, you know, we don't second guess that. But when we have exhaustion, we say, oh, we're just being pansies. You know, we need to toughen up, pull ourselves by our bootstraps, because, you know, it's like, oh, we're just being weak. No, it's called being a human being. You're fucking tired. You know, I mean, how many of y'all are just so fucking tired? Like, that's what it comes down to. I mean, no matter what you're doing, whether it's a physical, you know, 9-to-5 job or doing this stuff with politics, it's like, you get tired. There's just a point that you reach where you're like, I just can't do anymore. Shit.
I know.
Sorry, not to make it. I'm so sorry. I make things so dark. I do.
Well, it's
I
true,
don't mean
Stevie.
to, but it's like, God damn, what the fuck you expect us to do? I mean, like,
it's like it
it's
gets
down
worse.
to the nitty gritty.
It gets worse, and it becomes a bigger problem, and it costs more money, and you know, I mean, I read
Not
this
addressing it up front compounds the issue.
This sci-fi book called sci-fi book called Sundered Worlds by Michael Moorcock, and spoiler alert, spoiler alert, Michael Moorcock, Sundered Worlds. At the end, basically, there's like this alien race. Their whole universe is gone. They like go to like this multiverse, or this other. Their whole universe is about to like be like destroyed, and they go to this like other universe, or like go through the multiverse and pop out this binary stuff. Never mind. Anyway, the point was that like they end up like fighting this, having this battle with this like alien race that they agreed to these terms that whoever, if they lost, they'd be defeated in like just nothing. If they won, they would be able to like be like have command of the whole like whatever it was, galaxy or solar system, whatever it was. They would just like hand over the keys, right? If they were able to beat them. And what it was, the terms was like this game of psychological warfare. And so you had like all these people in these ships versus all these people in these other ships, just like basically like in battling in this game, these waves of these games. And the point was, one really interesting point in that thing all playing out in the showdown was like, one interesting point, I'm not giving away everything, was that they were like, their big tactic was they would like make these people completely insane. And it was like, rather than killing them, it was making them worthless and then drag down the whole operation and crew and stuff. So it was a kind of deep point, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of winning something with that. It's like, not really necessarily get rid of them, but make them obsolete, right? I mean, which is basically what they've done to the people that are considered, you know, poverty in the poverty class. You know, they've made them obsolete. So if you make them obsolete, then, you know, that's all you got to do. And they're not a problem anymore.
If you're not healthy, you're not as much of a contribution to your family or to your society.
Yeah. I mean, what do they have to contribute when they're poor? I mean, they're not in the capitalistic society. They're not buying anything. They're useless. So go ahead and let those people die out. Fuck it, you know. They're not feeding the bottom line. They're not providing profit. So what use are they? So just go ahead and get rid of them.
Well, you got to think we live in a country that converts misery into profit.
I think Stevie's seeing people as inherently useless, and I'm seeing them as, or I'm phrasing it like they're like you're presupposing or like saying that the like underlying everything bottom line is, and people are, or maybe people are looking at us like that, or people at the top are looking down and being like, okay, at bottom these people, okay, they're here are useless or something. But I'm thinking people are inherently have some like something to offer, and
I mean, seriously, on an individual basis,
whether it's just a simple tooth filling thing, or a simple
on an individual basis, people do have things to offer. I don't care who they are; they have a thing to offer to society. I don't care even if it's like, you know, waste management, whatever it is that it is.
I think it's semantics.
Necessary. I mean, you look at a hospital. Okay, I worked in the hospital. Okay, housekeeping. Those were the people that got paid the least. Okay, they got paid $7-8 an hour. Okay, but guess what? If those people went on a strike, that hospital was shut down, because you need people to do that shit. You need people to clean those rooms. You need people to get rid of the trash. And if it wasn't for those people, you would shut down, because you can't operate your system, you know, without those people. So it's like, but you also want to treat them like garbage and say that they're trash and say that you're helping them out, you know. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, you know, they phrase it to where people that are making minimum wage are just like basically, you know, scamming off the system. It's like, no. You don't have those cashiers. You don't have those people who flip those burgers. You don't have the people to ring people up. You don't have the people that'll empty the colostomy bags at the hospital. Buddy, good luck, because, you know, your system is not going to work without those people. So you better start treating them with the respect that they deserve, because they work hard for that shit. They work hard for that. You know, like, that's what kills me is like, these people go into these jobs and they bust their asses, and for what? Like $5, you know, $7 an hour. I mean, that's nothing. That's nothing compared to what our electric bills are, like $300 around here. So it's like, you know, you bust your ass for 1 hour for $7, and for what? You can't make your electric bill still. It's like, wait, what the fuck are you supposed to do?
But Stevie, they're taking your jobs away. That
yes. All those immigrants hoarding jobs in their basements somewhere.
The whole immigration thing, and the immigrants taking the jobs away. The people who own businesses, they're taking advantage of that, obviously, because not only are these people, or the people doing the jobs, willing to do the jobs, they're doing it without insurance. So if they get hurt on the job, they're fucked. And the business, they don't have to pay, you know, they don't have to pay them workman's comp. They don't have to pay them nothing. So, but it's, you know, but
wow.
the immigrants are taking jobs away.
Yes, it's the immigrants. Let's not focus on anything else. It's just the immigrants. All right, so let's get our propaganda in order. That's what it feels like most of the time. It's like, okay, let's get our propaganda, points in order, and then we can fight this thing. It's like, this whole thing with the teacher stuff, like here in West Virginia right now, you got all these teachers striking, and it's like, why? And they're pushing this point that, like, Republicans are the bad guy. I'm like, did anybody remember that teachers had shitty conditions under Democrats? Am I the only one that remembers that shit? Because I remember that Democrats had the power around here for a long time, and they didn't do shit to help teachers.
Can you
why
imagine?
is it now that we're looking at Republicans and saying, "Oh, you're the bad guy," because you're the ones doing it this time?
Double
I'm
standards.
sorry, but Democrats had a hand in this a long time ago.
Can you
Nobody
imagine?
ever helped these damn people.
Can you imagine West Virginia teachers with guns, or Chicago teachers with guns? Seriously?
Dear God, how many unarmed shootings are we going to have? Like, that's what I feel like. Is like the first, 20 instances, you're going to see teachers shooting children that they're supposed to be instructing and teaching.
Or teachers,
shooting them dead before we get, a chance of seeing a teacher stop an armed shooter.
Or teachers shooting each other. Teachers shooting each other.
Teachers shooting each other.
Teachers shooting parents.
Children mugging the children, mugging the teachers for their guns. I mean,
principals. God.
Does this not seem like a bad? I mean, like, what part of this seems like a good idea? Like, what part? I mean, I said this in Graham's chat. I'm like, you know what encourages the learning process is having a teacher with a gun, because nothing makes you want to learn more than when your teacher is fucking strapped. I mean, like, what the fuck, people? What the fuck? I'm all for gun rights, but come on, teacher strapped? What the fuck? What the fuck are we even doing?
Did you
this
see?
This is a fucking logical idea. Like,
Stevie, you gotta see.
Okay.
You gotta see the video. You gotta see the video. I think it's on Now This. It was a guy. I think he was a cop, and he was showing kids gun safety, and he shot himself.
Of course.
It was a gun
why I
accident.
say people need gun training, because even in this group we have somebody that have shot themselves by fucking accident.
Dude, I am so pro gun, but I do not understand. Like, the thing is, like, let's not educate people about these guns. I like handguns. I like shotguns. I like anything that protects against the home, and something that you can use for hunting. So it's like, I don't understand the whole thing with AR-15. So it's like, if you have an outlook where you think that's necessary in life, like, tweet it to me or whatever, because I'm willing to listen, but I don't understand that part. But, like, as far as, like, handguns and shotguns go, it's like, that's good for hunting, that's good for home protection, so it's like, that makes sense to me. But shit,
most of the actual, like, murders, like gun death murders or whatever, handguns.
Yep. Handguns are the number one thing, aren't they?
Yeah. If they're not the number one thing, they're damn close.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I get it. It's like, they're a huge source of.
And that's a semi-automatic. A pistol's a semi-automatic. You pull it, what happens?
No.
The people don't understand what an assault rifle is. I mean, semi-automatic. Yeah, you got to pull the trigger. If you want to kill 17 people, you got to pull the trigger 17 times.
I had my 12-year-old brother pull a gun on one of his friends and turn it to me, thinking he was being cute.
See, well, that's no gun safety, no fucking responsibility. No, that's what I have a problem with.
Yeah, I mean, gun training 101. Don't point at something unless you intend to shoot and kill it. I mean, that's 101. 101. Don't point your gun at something unless you want to kill it.
I went off on my mom. I was like, what in the hell? To store it properly, at least while it was in the closet. And then they jumped on me. Well, you should have stopped them.
I mean, this is
Did it at
this is
least
something
have a
I
gun
don't.
lock on it? I can understand not a safe, but they give out free gun locks.
Well, the safety was on, but
no gun lock.
No, it
gun
didn't
lock.
have a
It
gun.
inhibits it from functioning.
It didn't have a gun lock on it. No.
Then he was in the wrong.
Of course.
If there was no gun lock, then it needs to be in some sort of container or something.
Absolutely.
The only time that it should be no gun lock and no container is if you're using it, carrying it, or if you're the only one in the house and just you have it put there for like kind of self-defense sort of stuff. But if you leave or something, lock it up or take it with you or gun lock or come on, that's common sense.
My dad owned a 357 Magnum. He's shooting it like this. He freaking popped himself in the head, and shooting a shotgun like this, like dislocated his shoulder.
Yeah, that's stupidity. That's stupidity.
And
so I just looked at that Florida. I just looked at that Florida shooting. I just typed in Yahoo. Or sorry, I just typed in YouTube Florida shooting or something along those lines. What did I type in exactly? I typed in Florida shooting, and I counted the first 12 videos. It's like seems to be about 2 million, 3 million views. And I just sent a video or a link to a video. It's called Susan Jordan video. I sent that in the Zoom chat. And basically my point is that Susan Jordan is this principal who jumped in front of a bus and pushed out like several students out of the way, saved their lives and like gave her own life and like, and like died like in the process of doing that, saving these kids. And like, I think like not only that, but other, probably awesome things that happen in schools don't ever make the news. And this is something that makes the news. There's violence, there's shooting, there's wars, there's just so much, playing video games is only a little part of it.
Not to be a downer, but what the hell was going on with that bus driver? If you have a whole line of kids,
I forgot, but that video is so touching.
I'm just saying.
Buses don't stop on a dime.
No, and I understand that, but the kids are like, where the hell?
It could have been something with the kids being, it could have been something with the kids running out and whatever else too. I can't really recall, but I saw the video.
Traffic can be very chaotic.
It's got like 200,000 views compared to the 2 million, 4 million, who knows how many millions and on Facebook and all the hours. But on the other hand, I just not saying that we should cover it less. On the other hand, maybe we should just never stop talking about it until something happens. Like never, don't like just stop. Like I'm actually kind of almost proud of like how much everybody continues to be like. But then there's also conspiracy things, and that's not the same thing. Like I don't know.
Something is going on. Something is going on with this. Something is off, but for several reasons, and I don't want this this video to be banned or anything. But YouTubers are getting strikes for talking about it. You have the high schoolers starting a GoFundMe and raising like millions of dollars. All of a sudden, the NRA is being hit. The NRA has been bulletproof, pun intended, for decades. So what is different about this and not Sandy Hook or Virginia Tech or the Texas shooting or so many others? What, or Orlando? What was different about this?
I think it's to drive up membership, and that's what's happening. I am seeing that happen. I mean, in droves, people that don't even own guns are saying, I don't own guns.
Dang, maybe since Trump's been elected, people are like, oh, that's a good theory.
That's actually a good point.
Possibly.
Because the companies themselves, like Delta, that just pulled out of saying we're going to give a discount to NRAs, their discount is not going to be all out big of a loss.
No.
So it's not going to be on them. So those companies that are saying we're not going to support the NRA aren't really taking, the NRA really isn't taking a big hit, but the membership is being skyrocketed right
you're ramping up the battle between the anti-gun people and the pro-gun people. My thing is, listen, if you own a gun, don't be stupid, okay, and be able to handle the responsibility of having the gun. If you can't, then don't own one. That's, you know,
Good points. You guys are like awesome. You guys are making awesome points.
Like,
sounds
just
sensible.
don't want them, don't own them.
I speak for myself. I like everything you guys are saying about it.
Dick Cheney should not own a gun. I mean, and I'm
if you shoot your friend in the face in a hunting accident, I don't know. I don't think that was an accident.
That's possible, but it's like that was just laughed off, and we're supposed to take this stuff seriously when you have the vice president of the United States shooting a dude in the face, and nothing really happened. You know. And the
accidents do happen, but I mean, I don't think that was an accident. Oh, he's a deer. Bam. Oh, he's a bird. No. You knew what the fuck you were pointing at.
It was just weird.
So,
and the guy like apologized to Cheney. It was like
probably because he didn't want to get shot again.
Well, yeah, you made that point before.
So, I like talked to Anomaly like just in a little message, and he was nice. He like was nice to respond. I was like, so I was just kind of saying like I wanted to talk to him about it like that. And I just like sent a little message anyway, just summarized it and was like, dude, I think that Trump isn't as much of an outsider as you think, and that, you know, people just want to feel good in a party, feel safe and secure in a party. They're afraid to be like, it's like the comfort of being in a party. So they just gravitate to these things. And it's like, okay, the Democrats aren't good, so the Republicans, I don't know. I mean, and basically that was I don't know if I got that across, but I said something, but I was saying something like that. And I think that, you know, what if I'm wrong? What if Trump is just being a human being here? And he's just like, you know, he saw it up close and personal. And he's like, what if it's like leadership? And he's like, that's why that's why what you guys are feeling like it's a conspiracy is just a matter of like the media spinning it and putting a PR edge on it.
No, Ben, I have 20 years of experience of following that man like every day obsessively. That man has never, is never, and will never make a decision based upon anything but what he thinks he can get out of it.
He blows with the wind.
Yes.
You know, he's anti-gun one second, and then he's pro-gun the next. And then he's
also been pro-single payer and then pro-expanding our corporate health shit care.
Or he'll do something like he'll make the Saudi Arabia MIC deal and then rail against his own deal, which I know Stevie loves. I bring that up every once in a while, and she just giggles on that.
It's pretty smart shit. Being for everything is pretty likable. If you're for everything, if you're for both sides of everything, it's pretty clever.
Huh?
He out clevers himself, though. People realize very quickly that he's full of shit. And Clinton did the same. Bill Clinton did the same thing.
Yeah, I have no respect for anything like that. You got to stand up for something, you know, and stand up for it all the way. You know, no.
Like Reagan and Bush, the only ones with integrity.
Jesus Christ.
Shining integrity and war on drugs. Get rid of those darn. Remember in the 2000s, the commercials that were on there that marijuana money went to fund terrorism and stuff.
Oh my God. Well,
drink bud.
I'm gonna try to get Absolute Katie on here. Katie Savage. She did a good I think it's like 5-8 minutes on the quote unquote the war on drugs. And check out Gary Webb and check out, you know, his work. The whole bit about how, you know, crack cocaine was funneled into the poor cities, the inner cities, to create the drug problem or to, you know, to amplify it.
They put gun laws in place, de-armed people in areas, then shipped guns in,
right,
and also drugs. And also destroyed infrastructure because, like, you can look at Chicago. They did the gun law thing, cleaned out the guns, then they ship them in from the other states. Oh, you got massive amounts of gun violence. and then coincidentally they cut off infrastructure and just in a lot of areas. Look where the poor people live. Oh, that just happens to be where we have lead poisoning.
So explain to me though, like explain to me how that might not be just supply and demand and basically like that culture maybe or something.
I think that's an actual act of assault, just like the Powell Memorandum. They make dedicated efforts to disrupt, disorganize, and destroy any civilian cooperation or any power bases of the citizenry, and also educational houses of them.
I have a question in regards to the weapons. I would imagine that all the serial numbers were filed off, or were any of these weapons traced at some point?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay.
Apparently, it's confiscated hundreds of them. Like, I mean, just the original guns, because they in place the gun laws or for that specific city, because it's so screwed up. I mean, Michigan is an open carry state. Did you guys know that?
Yeah.
Okay, but each fucking locality has the ability to put some dumbass crazy shit together. So you can't even fucking walk through the whole damn state. You know, it's literally insanity. It's like, oh, I'm completely legal here. Oh, I crossed a line, an imaginary line. All of a sudden, it's illegal.
And to keep up with it, so you're not.
I just find that so fucking ridiculous.
It's a way to create a criminal, really.
Yeah, crime itself is fabricated.
Well, that's why I think drugs should be like legalized, and like I said before, like go through like a training course where you have to meet people who feel like, you know, doing that drug was a terrible idea or something, and talk to them, and you know, like just like if you were gonna go get a firearm or go skydiving. Seriously, like what I think that would deter more people than the way we do it now, and it's set up now, and the people just not having the ability to openly talk about it, I think does way more damage than good.
I'm trying to wrap my head around, because federal law overrides state law, correct? So state law does not override.
I believe that's called the supremacy clause.
Right. So state law does not override local. Like if you're in Michigan and it says, okay, you know, carry is legal, and you go into some bumfuck ass town where it's illegal, it's illegal.
Yeah, you'd be arrested. You'd be charged in that locality in their kangaroo court.
And they could have no state law on smoking, but some place has a smoking law or a drone law.
Yeah, it's fucking ass backwards and screwy. It doesn't make any goddamn sense whatsoever.
Well, there's probably there's places though where state trumps local. I'm sure.
So basically, you have to take a list if you're going from point A to point B.
That or just don't tell anybody.
Yeah, that too.
Right.
Yeah. Hence why just doing things illegally is a fuck ton easier. I mean, bye red tape.
That's just totally fucked up.
Well, you figure that, you know, truckers would carry a weapon potentially if they're driving, you know, if they're driving across the state and it's the middle of the night, they could be doing, you know, they could have a carry permit to prevent crap. So I don't know. That doesn't make any sense to me. It's kind of like with let's just say with kratom. Kratom is illegal in 5 states. So if I placed an order and it had to be shipped through Arkansas, I could get in trouble for that.
Yeah, shipped through
Arkansas or Tennessee or Indiana.
Yeah, so it's a good idea to hey, you got a list of, if you order something from some specific locality where it gets routed through, that might be convenient.
Well, you would do it in probably in New England, and I think it's illegal in Massachusetts. So obviously you wouldn't do it for Massachusetts, but try to do it within the state. You know, because it's a big problem. It's a big problem shipping medical marijuana too, because how the hell do you ship it? How do you fly it? When
it's not really.
It's also hard doing the banking side of it.
I think it's produced state by state mostly. Maybe there's like seeds, but pollen.
Some cases.
I'm sorry. Someone told me to unmute snort here because he was snoring.
Sorry.
I'm muting. Oh, don't be sorry. It was cute.
I think I better go to bed.
Yeah, falling asleep. Night, Snort.
Night, night.
Peace.
Take care.
I was wondering what that noise was. I was like, did somebody pass out?
We need critical thinking. Said, please put it on. I am rolling. Okay, rolling, laughing my ass off. Were you on, Dave, that night that I passed out and y'all had to mute me?
I think everybody's pretty much fallen asleep on this thing. I know I've done it. I know Stevie's done it. I know Eric's done it.
Feel
Wait,
proud.
what have I done?
Fell asleep.
Fell asleep?
You've fallen asleep.
Oh,
Actually-
dude, when I was at that Mobilize 88 Summit, I totally passed the fuck out online. Like, I was like, yeah, let me tell you about the problems of, I was out. I was out like a light.
I think that was more Discord that you were falling asleep.
Oh, I
Steve.
was notorious for that on Discord. Seriously, like I get on there, but that's the thing. It's like I want people there. Like it makes me feel. I don't know. Maybe it's just weird, but I feel safer having people there. It's like when I know that people are there, I can fall asleep. So when I'm online, it's like yeah, that I am totally, at risk of falling asleep online because I mean it makes me feel safe and comfortable having people around me.
Well,
I guess I'm the only one that hasn't fallen asleep. I guess that kind of makes sense because I'm kind of an insomniac.
Because you get kicked out sometimes, I think. Did you get kicked out the other day?
Who?
Do you ever sleep, Kevin?
I really don't sleep that much.
The other day,
a lot.
you were in here, and then, like, did you just leave, or did you get kicked out?
Dude.
What are you talking about?
Oh, the other day, like, you were in here, and there was, like, between you and Rebel, there was some kind of stuff.
Dude.
You left?
I just left.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. I just want to know. I just thought maybe you got kicked out.
What the hell?
Yeah, like why bring it up? We're having a good time.
Maybe I should have messaged him about it. I just
Well,
don't.
then why don't you just bring it up
Well,
like
they didn't.
private?
I thought he got kicked off. I don't think people
Have
should.
you ever stabbed anybody in chat, Stevie? Have you ever stabbed anybody here? What the hell, dude? Seriously?
I think it was a legitimate question.
Ah.
I didn't really care. I was about to get off anyways at that point.
But we're fine now.
I just say don't get triggered so easily. I mean,
Yeah, you should talk, sweetheart.
hey, I'm not the one that tried to boot people when they have to disagree in arguments. Do I try to boot people? Do I try to boot people?
Ben,
do I try to boot people if they disagree?
Can you wait? Ben?
Yes.
You're just doing this to cause shit because last night you brought it up and I told you that I didn't want to talk about it.
And I wasn't clear whether he was kicked out or not. And I asked him.
Ben, you know what? It's really not of your fucking business. And if you want to do something like that, do it private. You don't have to do it like this.
Okay.
Ben? That's causing trouble.
I don't think I'm the one that's made drama here. I don't think so. I said ask a question.
You
Have you
didn't
answered
have to bring it up.
You already had a word with me about it. Now you have
Ben,
another.
you didn't have to bring it up. Enough.
You know what I've been
Okay,
watching?
Mom.
You know what I've been watching? I've been watching Ben Shapiro.
Oh God.
Who is Ben Shapiro and what side is he on? I forget because I don't play into that kind of shit. So I always forget sometimes, like what side people. What is it that they're saying? Like, are they Democrat or Republican? What storyline are they falling into?
It's just some crazy nonsensical shit out of Ben Shapiro. I think I heard one sane thing one time from him. That was it.
I just like listening to what he's got to say and then just thinking, nah.
Well, I was cracking up when I saw I saw part of it, the Schenck versus Ben Shapiro. It's like, oh my God, when you put two turds next to each other, it always comes out one turd looks better than the other.
Which one's smellier than the other?
That's a hard call. I don't know. Schenk's just like the single payer thing, but then the argument he made for it was completely the opposite of it. Like he's like he was just attacking his own arguments. Like and instead of basing them in the actual information you have, he tried to base them in the lies. Like it was just ridiculousness. It's like I don't even watch him.
Where was this at?
I don't fucking remember.
Sorry,
Type in Schenck versus Ben Shapiro debate. You'll find it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll look for it.
It was at Politico last year, 2017, I think. Politico.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Because it was Anna.
Promotional event?
Anna versus what's her name, Ann Coulter.
Yeah, I didn't see Anna and Ann Coulter.
And Jenk's nephew, what's his name? You know who I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
Him and some other dude. And is it Piker? Hassan Piker? He got burnt.
Yeah, Hassan, yeah.
He got burnt bad. He got really burnt really bad. He was just trying to make it all funny and cheesy and he just the guy just burned him alive. So yeah.
Jink did an Ann Coulter debate last year, and he was just telling people to Google it like every other freaking sentence. You know, that's where I came up with that. Google it just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Google it like
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was just being very condescending.
Mm.
Oh, you know what you guys might find interesting? I actually saw was it RT America or RT? I'm not sure which one it's on. The Jesse Ventura show actually had an interesting little show this time around, and it was kind of funny because I was talking right at the end of the show. That woman that's on there that hosts is a woman from Michigan. You know, I don't know her, but I know where she's from. But it was kind of funny though. I cracked up because just yesterday or the day before, I think his name is William, to look up how many people died in the Great Leap Forward. And then 2 days later, I'm looking on RT, and what she says at the end of the thing is specifically mentioning that bit and then filled in the detail part of it. Like, you know, like, I, for some fucking reason, I've noticed that when I'll talk about something, and then a few days later, all of a sudden I see everybody else starting to talk about it. It ain't, you know, go through my subscription feed. Isn't that odd? Like, look at the videos where I've been talking on here, and then look at the videos that come out afterwards, and how they are at least on mine, is that they line up, you know, with basically what I was saying. Isn't that odd? Like, I'm just like, you know, and I'll go on to other shit too. Like, you know, I just thought that was really weird. You know, well, NSA might actually not be weird at all.
So,
or, you
what
know,
was the topic?
What if it's all run by robots and it's algorithm that's stealing it?
Well, the funny, it brought up Australia. I mean, when we were specifically talking about Ryan, we talked about the reef and said it was dying. Segment was about the Australian reef and said it was dying. You talked about how policies had good intentions but paved the way to hell, which was basically my Mao thing when I was saying it's like, yeah, the great leap forward. Let's kill all these pests off and then we'll increase crop production. Except for that caused the locust population to go out of control and kill 30 million people because of hunger. You know, it's like, that's why I'm always like, whoa, guys, wait a minute. Let's just double check this and think this through before we kill ourselves. You know, I cracked up at it. I was like, wow, did they just listen to our video and just copy my argument?
Wow.
I'm serious though. Go. You should check it out. It's a pretty good one. They filled it. They put in stuff that I didn't say or whatever. But I mean, the general reef dying, very important. Policies that are good can lead to hell. How basically not like identical word for word, but if you kind of I mean, you've all been at these videos. You've heard me talk. A good chunk.
I've joked before, Kevin, and said like, "Oh, this is that free focus group that we all participate in." Welcome to the focus.
Yeah. Nah. Technically, a think tank.
Yeah, or whatever. Well,
I mean, well, except for some think tanks have a goal. I guess this goal would be just fix this goddamn country so it's not such a fucking shithole anymore.
I'm trying to find it. Oh, wait. Coral reefs, ocean health, and Richard.
That's probably it. Yeah, that's probably it. It just came out like a day or two ago. Well, it's not a bad one. You should watch it.
I guess it's a hybrid. It's like a.
Oh, there's actually two of them. There's like a WATJ23 or The World According to Jesse and Coral Reefs.
The World According to Jesse one. It should be a half an hour little show.
Okay, yes.
Yeah. But I think you'll find that interesting. I thought it was reasonable.
I love his intro videos.
Don't get me wrong, I don't agree with him on everything, but I mean, main thing is just, hey, Minnesota's still somewhat in one piece. It didn't go down further hill than, I mean, I don't know when I look, Michigan used to have a lot fucking higher wages. Like we didn't have minimum wage laws or whatever, but what you could get hired in at through places and through all, if you could get hired in at a decent fucking paying job, and now that doesn't fucking exist anymore. Where it's very, very seldom.
I posted the link in the
So, if you care about those questions, if you care about those issues, though, Kevin, isn't it good that somebody else is talking about them as long as they're not making like some kind of sophist argument, like contrary, to some other agenda? Or
I don't care. I just thought it was funny. I mean, it's accurate. I mean, it's also kind of like, I don't know, the specific reason I brought up the Mao thing is because he was saying, oh, it's like a really good example of good communism. Oh, yeah, I'll show you some good communism, buddy. 30 million dead, massive starvation. Here's some good communism for you. You got to be fucking careful about this shit. Good intentions will lead to hell.
I actually really like Ventura. I don't agree with him on everything, but I like him.
Yeah, me too.
And I think the Chris Kyle stuff was bullshit. So I understand why Jesse did what he did. And he got a lot of shit for it too. Oh. Respect, Jesse.
Big time.
So nobody's talking except for you and me, Arab.
I guess.
Okay.
I need to figure out how to upload my. I made an intro video for my YouTube,
Okay.
and I need to figure out.
I didn't need to figure out Steemit and DTube and how, you know, some editing tips and that kind of stuff.
I'm getting quite, what's the word, confused lately. I try to get things, but sometimes. Oh, you know what else I'm doing is starting to download important videos, like from Debbie, political event, political vigilante.
Right. Oh, you mean Graham?
Anybody that I hear something and it's like dead on, it's like I'm starting to download it to my computer now and tell them, just in case they ever need it.
Graham's just confusing me a little bit.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's like, dude, I don't, you know, I think you just, something happens and you get like all upset, and you know, a lot of this shit is upsetting, but you have to, I feel like the public, especially if we just started really getting politically involved, it's kind of like we are in a fantasy baseball team, and you know, we want to make all these moves, but we don't really understand the game yet.
Mm-hmm.
We don't understand it yet. If you make these big sweeping moves, it's gonna, you know, it's not always gonna turn out the way that you think it's gonna turn out.
And anybody that claims they know, you know, what's best, you know, and they stick to it, and after all high and mighty over it, it's like God, there's no way to even predict the future. So how do you know?
If you're in an industry, or if you work, you know, long enough and all of that, and you have a general idea, you could give your educated opinion, but there's very little that, you know, I'm 100% on. You know, even being a rep for like almost a decade, it's very little where I just be like, no, I'm telling you, you have to do this. I mean, I will say that every once in a while, but, and I can see what I really think is going to happen, but you have people who are so deep into the game right now. People have seen, you know, 50 moves down the road, and it's a little, you know, I don't know, it's a little presumptuous to think we know what the hell's going on.
It is. Because I'm going to be flat out honest. I don't know anymore. I have no idea what's what. Oh, I found out how to upload it. Ha ha. But yeah.
That's really really fine points, guys. I'm digging it. Keep going.
I think the older we get, the less we know.
Well, the older you get, the wiser you get, and the more you realize that, you know, the more you realize how many mistakes you made. And how sure you were when you were a kid, you know. Mom, I can put my hand in the oven. Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah, on the hand in the oven thing. Any of you guys ever cooked with a cast iron pot or pan?
Yeah, they were pain in the ass.
Once you know once it's cured and you know how to cook with it, it's actually pretty easy, honestly. But it is kind of a pain in the ass to get used to.
Yeah.
But the thing I was kind of getting at there is putting like, okay, this is I don't know, maybe I just have a higher tolerance for pain, but fucking those cast iron pans get fucking hot.
Yeah.
And I cooked a burger one time. I went to drain the grease off. I grabbed that fucking pan handle with my bare fucking hand, picked it up, moved it over to the sink, started pouring it out, and then realized how bad my hand was burning. Almost let go, but if I would have let go, I would have lost my burger. So I held on until I put it back on the stove. But I ended up with fucking second-degree burns all down my hand.
Did you have it in the oven, or did you have it just on the stovetop?
On stovetop.
Okay, because I put it in the oven and grabbed it before, and I had like a red imprint when I grabbed it.
Yeah.
Like it was like a red imprint on my thumb going all the way.
Yeah.
The worst part was like right near between my thumb and my finger. And
I had a cast iron handle imprint on my hand.
There was a circle too. Yeah, there was a circle.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, it was very exact. It was very.
But I did not lose my damn burger, and it was good.
That's important.
After that incident, or a couple incidents with burning my hand trying to pick up the once I started playing around with that, putting cooking on the stove and then throwing it in the oven, burned my hand a few times. It's like I started like purposely stuffing the oven mitt like in between the handle and the stove. Every time I cook and do that, I'm like, I put it there so that way when I go to open the stove, it's there. I'm like, okay.
you don't forget and just reach in barehanded.
Like every time, like I do it, like I check for the keys, like when I or something, like check for keys, wallet, cell phone.
I just thought my example was funny. It was. I'm not sure if it was out of. I wouldn't say stupidity. It was more or less I endured pain for hunger. I wanted that burger.
You don't really drain grease into the sink either, but what the hell?
It wasn't in the sink. It was over the sink. I had a little container. I don't dump grease down the damn thing. What I end up doing with it is I keep the grease in a container and then I nuke it in a microwave and then I dump it all in the biodigester. I mean, grease is high energy dense. Quite a bit of energy in grease.
Oh, my mom used to like dump all that stuff into mason jars.
It's good.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen people keep it for making gravies or for flavoring food or for they just use it for I've seen people literally just fuck it and have a metal pot and put it inside their wood stove and just let the grease burn. Once it gets hot enough, that shit just burns in there.
Most of the time, she used it for flavoring the dog food.
That too.
To beef up her boxers when she was training and when she was showing boxers, and it actually would help with their coat. They'd have a shinier coat.
Oh, and soap too. I mean, you can use that grease to make soap if you wanted to.
Yeah.
I mean, there are uses for it, but a lot of people just chuck it out and don't even have a second thought about it. And granted, people shouldn't be eating like crap tons of grease. Not good for you.
They're talking about cast iron pans, and it's like that is one of my favorite. We have cast iron, and I mean it's nice to be able to put it in the oven when I need to have the top browned, or because it's safe to put it in there.
Yeah, I got it, man. I cast iron's kind of nice to cook with. Plus, I mean, like. Cooking ware, it'd be copper pans or things like that, stainless steel, cast iron, or just a straight normal steel kind. I'm not going to get anything covered in Teflon. I'm not going to get any of the really, really, really cheap, thin, crappy metal to where you stick it on the stove and literally less than 2 minutes it'll burn a fucking hole through it. You know, I'm not. It's just cheap crap. I'm a stickler. I like stuff that I know is not going to break. Is not, you know, it's stuff that I'm going to have for a long time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got a really good walk at this Japanese place. Like, I don't know how to say it right. It's like Yujima Wat. I always like butcher the name on purpose, but it's bad because I don't know how to say it. But anyway, it's like there were two, like basically two choices. Or there was like a $20 one, and there was like a set of three, like a small, medium, large one for $45. Then there was like this one that was $50, and I bought the $50 one because you know, like what you said, and it really works well. It really works well. It holds up well. It's like been 2-3 years strong, you know, for all my walk needs. I'm cooking all the time. It's pretty nice. It's like really durable, like really strong, well built. I mean, I love saving money and cooking. I just look at it as saving money. Yeah. Like if we bought a pack of like some steaks and did shit with it all week this week. Like, forgot steak and well, not really. We did fried rice, you know, steak fried rice, and then we did fajitas like twice, you know, leftover fajitas or not? Yeah, fajitas. Or cheese quesadillas, I guess. Yeah, we did like basically like, yeah, pretty basic, but it's definitely better than trying to go out at all or anything.
I don't know. It's normally cheaper buying your own food. Like I don't know. I just like just from a purely money perspective, it's cheaper to try to minimize, reduce, or get rid of all your bills. You know, so energy wise is a great way, water wise is a great way, food costs is a great way, and using your food waste is another good way. You know, just, you know, several things you can do that would, you know, help to either substantially reduce or to eliminate like overhead costs, I guess.
Well, I'm just saying that's how I excuse it, you know? Like it's expensive, but I feel like I'm saving money over time and not having to buy it over and over again.
Yeah. Well, if you're talking about cookware and stuff, like, yeah, it's normally just get a good set of cookware. Yeah. Because you're going to use it. I mean, as long as you're going to be eating, you're going to be using cookware. So you might as well get a good one.
I guess I can't afford any copper stuff or anything, but.
Oh, the copper stuff. You got to think, none of my shit I bought new. I mean, I got that from garage sales, yard sales, fucking house sales, you know, Salvation Army, St. Vincent's. I mean, I got all this stuff cheap.
But now they're talking about ceramic cooking.
Ceramic's not bad. Decent. I mean, as you know, materials to cook in go, it's not horrible. I got a couple ceramic things. They're normally good because you can actually stick them in the oven still, which is kind of nice.
If it's the same thing I'm thinking of, I think like there's like a way to make eggs with it that's really cool. Maybe not. Thinking of like a clay pot thing or something like that.
Most of my experience cooking is just standard cookware. I don't get too super fancy when I'm cooking. I'll just say I'm not making almond cheese from scratch. You know, I'm not quite, you know, I'll make some things from scratch, like dough or bread and stuff like that. And, you know, maybe some sausage or, you know, or jerky. But, you know, making cheese, stuff like that, yeah, not so much, you know, elaborate sort of, I don't know. I can cook, but I'm not like a fucking chef. Wow, it got quiet.
Well, I'm kind of irritated because I made an intro video and I thought I could swear that they did not put the we call it the watermark on it, and it's not the quality that I downloaded it at either. So I'm gonna have to find another one.
Whatever happened to, was that Angel Tibbs? Did we ever find out if that was Angel Tibbs that came on earlier?
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask that.
Because I haven't seen her in the chat.
Angel, are you there still?
Yeah, I don't think she is.
Okay.
Well, I think I'm going to call it a night. It's like 4 in the morning.
Yeah, I'm getting so tired.
We already had one person fall asleep. We don't need to.
My eyes are starting to feel like they're having a hard time staying open.
Okay. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Good night, guys.
See ya.